laughing pretty, baby. Someday you're gonna be crying. Yeah, you've been laughing pretty, baby. Someday you're gonna be crying. Further on up the road, you'll find out I wasn't lying. Further on up the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on up the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on up the road, darling, just you wait and see. Work's done and the weekend's here. I'm up at dawn, gotta make it clear. The hunt is on, I'm feeling that fire. Got FOMO bad and I'm down to the wire. Rolling out in the morning light, chasing that beast that's out of sight. Got my spot all picked out right, gonna score that bottle tonight. Oh, but the whiskey tubers got there first, left me standing feeling cursed. No JD, no Wild Turkey's best, no Russell's 15 left on the shelf. Guess I'll see if I like the rest. Charlie, Jeff, and Rob SS, sipping up all the liquid joy. Cast 529, got the last sweet sip. Guess I need to learn to double click and hit subscribe quick. Walk in the store, see a big guy there. I ask, did you score? What did you snare? He shakes his head, says, man, not a chance. Those whiskey tubers beating me to the dance. The guy at the counter starts to explain. A van rolled up like a whiskey train. Troy took all the Wild Turkey pride. Gandy Road grabbed JD for the ride. And Iceman Dave with a cheeky grin left with Russell's 15 again. Oh, the whiskey tubers got there first, left me standing feeling cursed. No JD, no Wild Turkey's best, no Russell's 15 left on the shelf. Guess I'll see if I like the rest. Charlie, Jeff, and Rob SS, sipping up.
All right, no, hold on, Torp. It does not say who is in my ass.
Oh my God, it does. If you separate it, it just says who's in my ass.
In my ass.
Oh shit.
Who in my ass?
Bourbon and Ballz and find something new. So I'll raise my glass to the whiskey crew. Those tubers know just what to do.
All right, here we go.
Hey,
everybody.
Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
This is Charlie and Jeff, and then we have a couple of guests. One you guys may recognize. One you're going about to learn about tonight. But we have Keith Glandon, as you guys know, in the chat room. He's now here present. He happens to be in the area, so we'd like, why don't you just go ahead and come on in. And then we also have, Logan, I'll go ahead and have you introduce yourself and who you are, and then we'll get into the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for having me. Name's Logan Buchanan. I'm from Venchero Spirits, based out of Bardstown, Kentucky.
Okay.
Currently serve as the master blender for all of our products. Do a lot of the R&D and just kind of all the forward-thinking stuff.
Okay.
So
Wonderful. So before we get into it, let's say hello to a few people, then we'll get to the Q&A. And then as usual, guys, if you have questions for Logan, feel free in the chat room. And then we don't have the monitor, so we will pass those questions on to Logan as you guys ask in the comments. So real quick, we got Mr. Castle. Yes, with that barbecue place today. Holy crap, that was good. I'm still feeling the effects.
Gosh, yes, it was great.
So
Sorry.
this barbecue place called Red State Inn.
Oh,
Red Bar.
absolutely.
You been there?
Yep.
Oh, isn't that great?
Many, many times. Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
First time he'd been there today.
I was going to say, that's a go-to spot,
Yeah.
Bourbon and Toulouse, right down by campus. Don't know if that's...
What is it?
Bourbon and Toulouse. It's all,
Okay.
all Cajun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, that's
Phenomenal. Yeah.
So we got the plate, and it was good. That thing
Yeah.
was melted in your mouth. It was,
I did. I got the 3-meat plate. I
Yeah,
got
you
the pulled pork, the pulled pork, the double smoked brisket,
Mm-hmm.
and the sausage, the andouille sausage, and them green beans.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of bacon grease in them.
I've had it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes them good, right?
Exactly.
That was so soft.
I know. I told Charlie, I said, I've never slurped down the juice out of it. I shot it.
Yeah.
No, I re-
So when you travels, you honestly need to hit that place up. It's not too far from
Yeah.
here.
no,
No,
I was
not at
trying
all.
to. I like to hit the local places.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
So Jeff, whenever you're in the area, make sure you hit up Red State Barbecue. It's not too far from the highway.
No, it is great.
So all right, show me the proof. Cheers to you. Appreciate you coming on. Brian from Cast 529's cheers. I appreciate you coming on as usual. Yes, so Gandy, yes, you missed the video. He was all I saw was outside of a barrel getting really drunk. Yeah, well, whatever. Well, we had quite a drink yesterday.
We did.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go over a bottle holiday too. But our main focus is Logan and his product and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna go over our bottle. We actually came with a mindset of not getting anything. We were just
Right.
gonna come to the Jim Beam.
Well, you're the one that just kind of lost your freaking mind.
You got a few of these bottles. So, but anyway, so we're gonna go through those bottles and get into as far as what we guys got, and then we'll have a chance for you guys to get a free sample with the hashtag. Today I made it real easy for you all. It's hashtag Logan. So that's easy to remember. I wasn't going to do the whole thing.
Yeah, I was going to
Otherwise,
say that'd be
Only a
complicated.
couple people will probably be entered in the contest because you got to spell it right.
Only a couple people spell it in our group, right?
Yeah. So and then, which by the way, Keith, welcome to the show, right?
Thank you. Big fan of the show and big fan of Logan. Met Logan last year at the Bruzel Festival. Very impressed by him and his colleagues and his spirits, and excited to hear what he has going on.
Yeah. So thanks to you, Keith. Honestly, we have Logan, and that's how this whole YouTube community works.
Right.
You know one person, they know somebody else, and eventually it's come together.
Well,
and
and
that's how
the
things
great thing about it is we're all here for the Jim Beam Institute
Yeah.
conference.
Except for me.
Except for you. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through town, so.
Yeah, driving through town. No, it's great. Perfect timing.
Yep.
Don't
Perfect
drive
timing.
a silver SUV with a Florida license plate, do you?
No.
Good.
Oh,
No, some guy parked next to him, like in the parking lot. It was like right next to him.
oh,
He was
Yeah.
mad. And I told him, I said, how funny if that was Keith.
About had to climb through the sunroof, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I've had that happen before. I had to climb in the passenger seat. Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's
Parked
not-
so close?
It's not fun.
Wow, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right, I got off topic here, but cheers. We do that a lot. So, cheers to you, Gandy. Thanks, buddy, for coming on. Matt B, thanks as always coming on, the OG of our YouTube viewers. Husky Dog, I appreciate you, and also appreciate you upgrading to the Patreon. We got that notification in today.
Yep.
That means it'll get you different benefits and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
For those who saw one of the videos today,
Mm-hmm.
for the month of April,
Right.
one of our special bottles, and we'll go over it in a minute. You guys will have a chance of snagging a free sample out of that.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome
Yeah,
too.
probably one of the best rides I've had
Yeah.
in a while. Jenny B, good evening to you too. Thanks for coming on. Mr. and Mrs. Lori J, yes. And then you're right, Mr. Lori or Mr. Richie J, do a hashtag Logan for free samples. We don't know what yet. We'll see how the evening goes. But I may have you guys choose. The winner can choose probably as far as between our bottle off.
We can crack open Shauna's bottle and share that.
Yeah, right.
Shauna, keep giving me your bottle to give to you. So
It might make it.
that's going to be a free bottle tonight. Cat's 529. So yeah, but we do have that up for because I bought one too. We'll have that up for choice. So anyways, yeah. So Scotty, cheers to you. Thanks for coming on.
There's my wife, Leah.
Oh look, everyone! This is the first time, isn't it?
Yes.
Everyone say hello to Leah. Yes, Glenn, and we met her at the last meetup at Cat's 529.
Yeah.
Very nice lady. And you guys just had an anniversary, right?
Yes. St. Patrick's Day, yes. And she lets me enjoy my bourbon hobby without giving me any hassle. So
That's the best kind of
Yeah.
wife.
that's a very good one.
It's always nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so special thanks to you, Leah. So thanks for coming on the show. Everybody give a hello to her. So, all right. I think we are getting through it here. Stan, cheers to you. Appreciate you as always for coming on. Zach, thank you. And hashtag Logan, you are correct. Let's see here. Mr. Castle, you were the first one in. So, Mr. Bortner, wow, yes, look at this. You can catch an actual live tonight. Usually he's working.
That's right.
So cheers to you. And yeah, we'll be on for a couple hours. And then I think this will roll into 21090's 10 o'clock stream from Las Vegas. So be sure to check them out. All right, let's see here. Rye Guy, yes. Charles, thanks for stopping in as always. And then let's see. Yes, Shauna. I guess Shauna thought that was funny. I'm not quite sure.
Not really funny.
Yeah, funny, but not funny, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, and then we have a new one here. FLA 727.
Yeah. Is that Florida? Somebody from Florida?
You know what it is? I think it's the gentleman that I just probably met. I think if it is,
That's right.
say cheers.
Yeah,
He's got a nice little story.
it is.
He has connection to Brian Kelly. If it's the person I'm talking about, not the other guy I met. Cheers to him. Anyways, it may not be him. For all I know. So, all right, I think we are caught up. And if I missed anybody, if we missed anybody, I apologize. But nevertheless, let's get back to Logan and let's talk about who you are and how you came to be, and then what theory spirits you got in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of to start.
While you do that, don't mind me moving around.
No, you're good.
Glasses and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so kind of the story of how I got started into all this is, so I'm originally from Eastern Kentucky, so northeastern Kentucky, a little town called Carlisle. I graduated with about 70 kids in my class. Came here to UK, studied ag and medical biotechnology, and realized that I didn't really enjoy biochemistry or molecular genetics or that type of thing, and so I needed some GPA boosters, and I thought, well, this spirits thing seems interesting, and so let me see what I can do. And so I enrolled in a class with Dr. Seth DeBolt, the head of the Beam Institute now, and immediately got hooked on it. And so in order to graduate from the Beam, or not the Beam Institute, from Ag Biotech, you have to do a research project. And so a lot of my classmates were working with lab rats and all kinds of stuff. And so I went up to Dr. DeBolt one day after class and said, is there any way you have a position in your lab that's open? I'd be willing to work for free. And he said, well, you sit in the front of my class and you laugh at my jokes. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so that's kind of how I got started into it. So my sophomore year of college, I started working on a research project, presented that my senior year. And then after I graduated, got into the bourbon business with two of my best friends from college.
Okay.
So initially we had a barrel hedge fund called Brownwater Bourbon Exchange. So we would basically collect funds, buy barrels with that. So we were sitting on about 6,000 barrels. Now we're down to about 4,500.
Okay.
from Kentucky, North Carolina, Indiana, and a couple other smaller distilleries. And so for us, that's kind of how we got started in this. And as I told you all before we started, I'm the only scientist on a team of accountants. So I have the fun job of getting to drink at work and taste everything. And so these samples came
So you
across.
really don't have to answer to anybody. Well, I mean,
No,
you do.
no, I
But
still
I'm just
do.
saying, though, you have a lot to say as far as how these things are constructed.
Yeah, yeah. So they kind of put a lot of trust in me to be able
Yeah.
to do that and say, okay, you're going to be the one that sets the flavor profile. And
Okay.
usually what I do is I bring 4 or 5 options of blends to the
Okay.
entire team,
Yeah.
and then from there we kind of decide on what we like, what we want to continue going forward with. So each one of these, I initially did a 2-barrel blend just to kind of get the flavor down that I wanted, and then from there we expanded it to 4. And so
Okay.
we pitched them probably 5 blends for each one of these. And then this one took me about 8 months to blend. That's our blackberry bourbon. So like I said, I'm from Carlisle. We had the Blackberry Festival every summer around
Okay.
4th of July. So even back when I was in college, I always said, well, I want to do a blackberry bourbon of some
Yeah,
kind.
sure.
And then after about 4 or 5 months into development of this, Ben, my coworker, comes into my office and he said, hey, just so you know, Crown just released a blackberry. Like, you probably need to hurry up and get that out the door.
Okay.
And so, after tasting a lot of these barrel samples, we started looking into product lines and looking at that kind of as an alternative. Because as they've talked a lot about at the Beam Institute this week, there's a lot of barrels coming online. We're kind of getting to a glut in the industry. So it's just trying to get creative and figuring out how we can best use these great barrels that we have access to.
So Keith was telling me, I think, in a conversation, as far as who you were, I don't know if it's understudy is the word, as far as who you followed. And I'd imagine Miss Fraley is one of them, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I went to a training back
I don't
in.
know why we say Miss Fraley. It's Nancy Fraley. I don't know why the hell we say that.
Because she's so good.
Yeah.
We all know her as Nancy Fraley.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, so I went to a class out in Texas in December at Iron Root Republic and got to learn from her for about a week. And it was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that goes into it beyond just what we think about for bourbon.
Yeah.
Really, her kind of bread and butter is old world brandy techniques. So slow reduction, using those kind of old world techniques that make you pay attention to what you're actually putting into the product.
Okay.
And in the long run, actually lead to a higher quality spirit. So like Tanager, for example, her cigar blend that she released was still awesome. Of course, she does Joseph Magnus cigar blend, but that's
she did Tanager.
yeah. And so
Holy crap! And that
blows up.
thing is,
Yeah.
I knew that to be a great. Well, I hear that's a great bottle. From
Yeah.
a lot of people. I didn't know it had Nancy Fraley's fingerprints
It
on it.
went to the roof. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that released the day we flew out to Texas to start doing the class, and she talked a lot about kind of the brandy tradition of doing a cigar blend. You're making a brandy that's supposed to be paired with a cigar, and so that was kind of the basis of the Joseph Magnus cigar blend. And of course, she uses barrel finishes for that.
Okay.
But for Tanager, she picked the barrels out whenever they were probably 6-7 months old.
Wow.
And basically used the French tradition of raising the barrel. Eastern Kentucky and French don't go very well. I forget the proper terminology for that. But in layman's terms, it's watching the barrel as it grows older. And she really kind of had these barrels set off to the side and said, I know this is what I'm going to use it for. So just being able to learn from somebody like that, that's just a wealth of knowledge, is just amazing for me.
Kind of mention what your relationship has progressed to you making something for her.
Yeah. So outside of bourbon, I'm really into guitars. I build guitars in my spare time. Just finished up a Silver Sparkle Telecaster and a Fiesta Red Stratocaster. And then I'm actually working on a guitar for Nancy. So,
No kidding.
So we're still in talks about what color, what shape, everything, what body style.
So she's a player then, I assume.
Yes, she is. I know she's a big Beatles and Leonard Skinner fan.
Really?
She,
Standard. All right.
yeah, she has a very big guitar collection, and that's really kind of how we first bonded at the blending classes, just talking about
kidding.
guitars.
Wow, never would have guessed that.
Yeah, yep. So
Beatles, that's what Skinner.
yeah, but yeah, if you look her up, she has pictures of her with her guitar collection, and
Wow.
has a great collection,
Wow.
amazing collection.
That's
I'm
pretty
very
cool.
envious, but
Wow.
So, I mean, that's taking a big risk when you're picking out barrels that are only 6 months old and sitting and watching them and hoping and praying that comes out. I
It
mean,
tells you
Yeah.
the genius
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
who she
Yeah.
is, right?
And yeah, you could lose everything.
Yeah.
It's not turned into anything.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
a big risk, to get nothing out of it. That's amazing.
Wow. And that bottle's just, and you know me, I love a pretty bottle,
yeah,
but that bottle is gorgeous, but the juice is just, it's, you can't find it anywhere. You
Yeah.
can't find the bottle. It just
No.
sells out. It's,
We know somebody that has it, and he might better give us some.
Who? What are you talking about?
Mr. Cask.
Oh, the tan. Oh,
Sorry,
Well, I heard
Brian.
about a
Don't want to
model.
put you on the spot or
I
anything.
think you said we could try it.
I think he did. I think he did.
So go up there.
I know he did.
You did?
I don't.
I did now.
it was announced on the internet.
Yeah.
it's
Man, what an awesome story, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How old are you?
So I'm 24.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
Oh, my
cow.
And that's so cool. It's just,
You
it's
got-
just a young entrepreneur. It's,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
So
Wow.
Just thinking like 10, 15 years from now, how many more stories you're going to end up having?
Yeah.
for better and for worse, yeah.
No, I think it's be hills and valleys, right?
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
I think you got quite the future ahead of you, and you never know where this leads to, and no one ever does. But man, what a start you're off to.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I was going to say the biggest thing for me, and I mentioned having a teacher as great as Nancy, is I just love learning. And
Yeah.
I know the bourbon industry is something I can spend my entire life in and still never know everything.
I think
So-
were you not a speaker at the conference too?
So I'll be speaking tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, yeah.
So that's awesome for someone at 24 years old to be speaking at that big of a conference.
We'll have like little signs and be like Bill Logan.
Cheering on the back. Yeah.
Conference and we'll embarrass you.
I was going to say like the slapstick. Yeah.
Cool whistle.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So,
Mhm.
all right, tell everybody at home as far as what we have in front of you, and let's get our pour on.
Yeah, so kind of made a little something for everybody. So we're probably going to start off here with our 4-year-old bond. So this is just what we call the bond. It's a 4-year 21% rye from MGP.
Okay.
It's bottled in bond, so it is 100 proof. And so all these barrels actually came from a Smooth Ambler lot. And so we were approached by somebody and they said, we have 50 extra barrels from a Smooth Ambler lot. Would you like to purchase them?
Okay.
And so they had been stored at MGP. And so we brought them to Kentucky, finished them in a Camp Nelson F style warehouse. And then, they spent the last year or so of its life here in Kentucky before being dumped and put into this.
Nice.
So
By the way, is that water?
It is. Yeah.
I say.
Yeah. I brought one.
Go ahead, kick off. I'll pour it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that one. We've got the black label here, which we call the Bond Eternal. That's our high rye. So it's 7-year MGP, 36% rye. That spent most of its life actually in Montana. So it's been so aged for about 6 years in Montana before being moved back to Kentucky as well, and then finishing out aging here.
Boy, I wonder how that would go, right? For the weather climate up there.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So how was that?
Yeah, really interesting. So these were palletized rather than ricked. So
Okay.
they were just stacked on pallets.
Yeah,
kind of
I've
end
seen
over
that
end.
in some places,
Yeah.
and I've been told it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. That's what they tell me.
Yeah,
They said it's just a matter of move. It's easier to move around.
I think it depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Some marketing departments tell you to say that.
Okay.
I do know that it does take a little longer to age.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
yeah, so I feel like because of the cooler climate, we didn't get as much wood interaction with it.
Okay.
So we were able to preserve a lot of those kind of caramel forward flavors and
Okay.
kind of fruit forward flavors that the 36% rye has. And so that's actually kind of why I fell in love with those barrels, is they were so flavorful and kind of, I'm a big Wild Turkey fan, so gave a really nice mix of that kind of funky oak, but also a lot of fruit flavors as well.
One of the viewers want to see the camera up close, or see the bottle up close, so
Oh.
we're just gonna do it in part 2, and I'll just. Yes, Gandy. Anything for you, buddy.
Gandy's always on every
I know he's
every channel that I watch. Gandy's on there. Has been there 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
There you go, Gandy. I hope you see that. And then why we do this? Since I'm not gonna get up all 3 times. Well, you know what? We'll go bottle by bottle. That way we don't confuse everybody. So continue to talk. I don't mind getting that.
Yeah, but so this one won double platinum in Fred Menning's Ascot Awards. So this was the first blend I'd ever made. And for me, I kind of tried to showcase the best in a young bourbon. So young bourbons can be really, really sweet just because of the graininess that it kind of has to it. So I kind of tried to accentuate that toasted grain, that sweet note from it. There's a little bit of vanilla in there, a little bit of marzipan, and then a little bit of fruit, kind of some jammy fruits on the back end for me.
So, well, I was just saying, I want to clarify. This was your first blend, and you won double platinum
Right out of the chute.
right out of the chute.
Yes. Yep. Double
Impressive.
platinum with that, and then gold at ADI.
Nice.
Wow.
Does that like sink in at all to you a little bit, or
I still feel very undeserving of it, to be honest with you.
is it a little surreal?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the marketing department calls me master blender. I think master rule is like 10,000 hours. I think I'm up to 8,000 or so at this point. So still working on that. But yeah, it's hard to think that I hope I'm not a fluke. I guess just made something good right out the gate and then go from there.
Well, it's only downhill from here, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I was going to say it's only 20-year-olds and the best bourbon from here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what really impressed me about him too. You know, the background. There's a lot of MGP barrels out there,
There is. And you got to
and he's picking some really. It's really who can pick and blend the best.
yeah, correct.
Bravo. You know,
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I was going to say the big thing for me is you got to treat it right. You know, there's a lot of people that see MGP and they say, well, I'm going to dump it, proof it down to 80 and put it in a bottle.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I try to take my time with it. Just like if you were to pour a glass of bourbon here and let it blow off for about 10 minutes or so before you drink it, I try to do that with all of our products to kind of soften it up a little bit and mute a little bit more of those kind of like rubbing alcohol type flavors that younger bourbons can have.
Yeah.
now I'm a real sentimental bourbon guy. You
Yeah.
know, the neat podcast is what got me into
Mhm.
Freddie Johnson's
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
Tell them about your friend and how you guys got started even to get into bourbon in general.
Yeah. So, so kind of the story behind the brand, The Bond, is it's me and two of my best friends from college, William Brown and Ben Bohannon. I met them my first week of college here at UK, and all through the 4 years, we just stayed friends. They said, you know, we can help you with some of your classes if you want. Like, we can help you with accounting 201. And I said, well, I'm a science major. I don't think I'll be taking any accounting classes.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we just stayed friends after that. And so, long story short, we had two friends of ours pass away while we were in college. So one was a roommate of ours. Another one was a very good friend of ours. And so we were sitting around having a drink one night saying, you know, what would we do to have another drink with them?
Sure.
And what would we do to kind of create a bourbon to celebrate those special moments with the people we enjoy while they're still here or while they're gone? And so that's kind of where this was born out of. It's kind of a sorrowful story, but we try to use bourbon as something we can celebrate with, and kind of it makes me be present. So it kind of forces you to think about what's in the glass, what you're drinking, and your mind's not occupied somewhere else trying to figure out, you know, well, I have this at work, or I've got this email I need to get back to.
It's a nice decompressor.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, it's something you can bring about anywhere, find somebody to share it with.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's, man.
well said. So this is good. It's really good.
Thank you.
Like, that's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah.
So where can someone find that?
Yeah, so right now we're currently only distributed in Kentucky. So we're in about 200 stores here in Kentucky. If you're
Party
in,
source?
not yet. We're still working on it.
A lot of party source people in here.
Yeah.
But you're coming to Northern Kentucky, right?
Yes.
Tell me yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I was going to say
okay.
we're in a lot of restaurants and a lot of or not chains, but individual liquor
So
stores
not,
in
so
northern
you're not
Kentucky.
really like uncorked, none of that stuff just yet.
Yes, not yet.
All right.
And so mostly in like the bluegrass and central Kentucky area,
All right.
but working on
Ashland.
that. Yeah, we're in
I was
Ashland.
like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, Ashland, Pikeville, even down in Paducah. So we're kind of trying to hit the entire state and own our backyard
Yeah.
before we move on to anything
Well,
else.
that makes a lot of sense.
But we also do online distribution. So
Oh,
we're
you do? Okay,
yes,
through who?
through Big Thirst. So
Okay.
you can go on thebondbourbon.com and find both of these
It'll
bottles.
direct you there.
Yep, and so we ship to 43 states.
Okay. Oh, do you know if Ohio is one of
It
them?
is. Big Thirst
It is.
is, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I've ordered stuff through Big Thirst before.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're great to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think LHLQ had it yet, but
Yeah.
No, we don't, unfortunately. Yeah.
They got
Well,
they got a
It's a big
strain.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a strange.
It's a strained process, and you got to do it at the right time and hope that you take off, because if you don't, they delist you and then they
Yeah.
won't let you in.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, because you can actually get the Pursuit United
Exactly.
Live right now for $38.
you can't get in Ohio.
Well, no,
No.
once they're out.
Oh.
Yeah, but they're out. But they discounted down. That's a $70 bottle.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. You're
But
right.
it
Yeah.
didn't sell well in Ohio,
Mhm.
so that's went by the numbers.
Which
Right?
is weird because they're double did.
Oh, the doubles. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
crazy,
outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the weird part about kind of starting a brand is there's a lot of that goes on. You know, if you want to get into like a larger chain like a Liquor Barn or
Yeah,
Total
sure.
Wine, you get a 3-month trial period.
Okay.
And so basically your sales are your report card. And
Yeah,
so your
sure.
stats that you bring and your kind of averages is what allows them to decide, okay, we want to keep your product longer and bring it into more stores.
So would that include like it's important to have like brand ambassadors and all that kind of stuff to be in those stores to kind of
Yeah.
multiply your exposure and all that stuff.
I'm
Right?
the
Yeah,
initial
and-
brand ambassador. I'm picking them all.
Yeah.
These, I'll be on
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we are the big Ferreras. You are perhaps the boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll negotiate salary.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'll call my attorney. He lives across town.
Yeah, you need a phone?
You get like a royalty, like like $1 per bottle or something like that.
Yeah,
A couple bottles.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, all it takes is a few bottles to show up anybody's way, and
Yeah.
they'll become your brand about. I mean, your product's got to speak for itself, right? And,
Yep.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed with it. I wouldn't have brought it up to you guys.
Right, and I'm glad because
There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a
There
lot
is.
of stuff to choose from, and it's hard to choose. And
man, I'll say this now. There's only a few of us on here, so we were at we're at that bar.
Justin's House of
Yeah,
Bourbon?
Justin House of Bourbon. He
Mhm.
went there too, and we were chit-chatting with the bartender guy
Mhm.
because he knows quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we asked him and said, said we got to ask you what's the worst bourbon? He wouldn't say it at first,
Yeah.
and then he asked us, and we told him it was fresh, the worst bourbon we ever had in our lives.
Mhm.
Not to get off topic real quick.
No, you're
And
good.
he started smiling and started laughing, and it was his
Mhm.
freaking answer too. So there are some really bad bourbons out there that will just stay with you, and the problem is, it never does that ripple effect where that person will no longer tell. I mean, I'll never tell somebody to go get it.
Yeah.
Just like that person will never. So you got to be real careful with your product. But
Yep.
word of mouth. Like I trust Keith's
Mhm.
opinion
Mhm.
and his palate. So I'm glad that he was able to bring you on. But
Yeah.
I know that by bringing you on,
Mhm.
right, it's already been pre-approved already. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's already been through the test, and we're not like gonna be like, oh shit, what do we do?
Leah's husband liked it.
Oh,
Yeah. I was going to say, Keith can probably do your all screening from here on out. Just send
Yeah.
them bottles before you all have them on the
yeah,
show.
he'll be our official taster of Bourbon and Ballz.
Yeah.
I send all the samples, and then you give us a thumbs up or thumbs down whenever we do a bottle
Let me
review.
give you
Yeah.
guys a glass of water over here.
Well, that is Gandy. Well, we're waiting on Gandy to get his damn tattoo. So,
Yeah.
I wonder how long that's going to take to bring that up.
That's, if you want to dump it,
yeah, we're only 15 minutes in.
you
or
and I
half
can
an
split it up.
hour. So, all right.
Bottle of water, see.
Yeah, we'll just,
We
we'll
just
keep a
right.
glass.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll keep a glass here so we can rinse, and
Yeah.
if you want to drink it or dump it.
Have that empty cup. I'm pour the water. Thank you, sir. All right. Which, by the way, this portion is brought to you by L8, everybody. I think Keith tried to surprise us to see whether or not,
Yeah, I was going to educate you Yankees.
yeah. But what he did not realize, I grew up on this stuff
You want a bottle of water.
in eastern Kentucky in the summers at my grandmother's
Oh.
farm.
I did.
Mhm.
She used to send me to the store and get me get some L8 and a carton of Pall Mall. And I'd be like 9 years old back then.
My dad smoked.
Yeah, and back then,
Yeah.
they didn't give a shit. They'll give you just say, "Hey, I'm here to pick up cigarettes for my grandmother," and they give it to you. You're 9 years old.
I got a story about that for after the show. but-
Okay. And
So
then,
do that now.
in return for me going, I get LA out of it. So that's my memory with LA.
I was going to say, so did you buy the short neck bottles or did
No,
you buy
the long
the
one.
refundable long neck?
Yes,
I was
the
gonna,
nickel ones.
Old
Yeah.
Then we
school,
take it
baby.
back.
yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say they still have those, and you were talking about
Oh,
before
really?
the episode. You can only really get them around here. But so
Oh.
you were saying, the cans are different
See, I
from those
used to get- I
bottles,
used to
and
get
even the
Yeah.
refundable ones are
Yes.
different than those bottles.
I would get them.
Short
They would
neck
set in my
ones.
garage for a couple of months. Then
Yeah.
I would bring it back to Kentucky when I came back over for
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we lived on this and RC Cola.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Yeah.
is RC around anymore?
yes, it is.
It is. They
Yes.
still make it.
Young. You
It's-
probably know what RC is.
Yeah.
They,
I know,
actually,
yeah, I was actually out in Tucson.
actually have it out here in the cooler.
RC Cola.
RC Cola's
Oh,
out
I'm gonna
here.
get one then.
Yeah.
So those are two soft drinks I grew up on.
Yeah, well, I grew up on kind of L8 and RC Cola and Tab. Yeah.
Well, everything was so good in those glass bottles.
Yeah, they were.
nothing
They were.
It's a different taste now.
It is. I believe
And,
it.
and I remember I was such a fan of L8 when the company I used to work for, they're in Winchester, Kentucky. And when I found out that L8's made in Winchester, Kentucky, I had to go to the office and check them out.
Yep.
Same thing growing up, and we took an occasional vacation to visit relatives in Kentucky. That was a big deal because we couldn't get that in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking LA since probably 8 years old.
Yep. Yep. I remember kids coming to school in elementary school with biscuits and gravy and L8.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
Right meal to get the day started.
Oh,
That's true. That's you can't get.
what I would give to go back to those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about your second bottle there.
Yes.
What we got going on here?
Yeah, so this is the Bond Eternal. So this is our high rye. So this is a 7-year MGP 36% rye. So these barrels spent about 6 years in Montana at a pretty high elevation. So we had a lot more angel share evaporation on these than we did the 4-year-old barrels. And so that allowed these to kind of mellow out a little bit and really give some,
I mean, that's got a dark.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is my favorite out of the bunch. I'm a big Wild Turkey fan, so I kind of tried to bring through that same oakiness and same kind of Wild Turkey funk. But I get a lot of chocolate off this one, a little bit of orange.
It is dark and wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, but yeah, so
You mentioned the altitude was what was really the big thing there, not the heat, right?
yeah. So since it was a little bit cooler, a little bit colder, and the altitude was higher, it really mellowed out the bourbon a lot. So on a lot of like older, higher rye bourbons, it gets really oaky. And so that's going to be the big thing to kind of look at with these really older kind of 36% rye barrels once they hit that 12, 13 mark.
Let's do the Gandy close up. Just for you, Gandy. No one else look.
Looks good.
Yeah.
And he passes the cool bottle test. So,
That is a badass.
Yeah.
This reminds me of, like, as far as
and
coolness.
both of them
Mhm.
do, yeah.
It's like almost, it's got like a dark arts kind of feel.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Yeah, it looks like real cool.
Especially like this one too. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, so the skeleton hand, of course, is like a nod to our friends.
Okay.
But also all three of us are Grateful Dead fans. So,
nice.
The
all
birth
right,
of
interview's
skeleton.
over.
Yeah. Cutting it off here. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I think y'all will enjoy it. It really mellowed it out a lot the time in
Which
Montana
one did
did.
we have at Brussels?
So we had all three of these at Bruzel.
I think I had this one. And
The
this
4-year,
one,
yeah.
Well, he had an lemonade there.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It was a huge success there because it was really hot too. Really
Yes.
Cool. They're not Brussels fans here.
Oh, well,
So,
all right. You're right.
no comment.
I mean,
Jeff likes Brussels.
I do. Yeah.
all right. That's fine. I mean, to each their own.
I like everybody, pal.
I'm glad someone does, because someone's got to balance me out.
Especially Cincinnati Bearcat fans. Love them.
Mm.
I hope they lose every freaking game next year. I just want that damn coach gone.
You talk about the chocolate notes on this.
Mm-hmm.
That is nice.
What impressed me the first time when I made this blend is the legs that it has, just on the side of the glass. It just stays there for a while.
This is a deep flavor. I
I
don't
almost bet
know.
on both of those.
Yeah.
It's a killer. It's amazing.
It's like a dark flavor.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm getting chocolate, coffee. I don't know.
Chocolate. It's the chocolate.
Coffee too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't get the coffee.
It's a dark flavor, if that makes sense.
I get like a fruity kind of nose. And I hit that chocolate, man.
Coffee and the finish too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I don't get coffee that often on finishes.
Yeah, but it's a oak you can taste, but it doesn't
Yes.
overwhelm you.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you
not,
very much.
Yeah.
It's not bitter
There-
or tangent. Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them out there that they just way overdid it,
Yeah.
and I can't. It tastes like a tree,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this definitely does not. It's the oak, but then it doesn't overtake it.
What is the proof on this one?
100 proof as well.
100 proof as well.
So
They're
yeah,
both bottled. They're both
Okay.
bottled.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I
I was
lost on that one. I think that's got a nice long finish.
Which is pulled from doing a blend.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you don't see a lot of blenders that can pull off a bottle and bond bottle.
yeah. So
I love bottle and bond.
Mhm.
Just even the theory behind it. You know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, and that's kind of when we were making these. I was talking with all my coworkers about it, and I said, to me, bottled and bond is a sign of quality. It means I can
Yes.
go pick up a bottle. It's going to be at least 4 years old.
Yeah.
It's going to be 100 proof. It may not be cast strength like I like it, but it'll be a decent bottle.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why we gravitated towards this. And I was just really impressed with how much of that flavor from the initial blend carried through into the proof down version of it. Because it's still really vibrant, and like you all said, has a very
what did
long,
that come out of the barrel at roughly?
about 124.
Wow.
How was that? Was it good?
I wish I could bottle that.
Okay.
It's
Well,
phenomenal.
I was like that better than the 100. But
So
it's going to be very different, right? Probably
yeah.
too.
So I was going to say it's vastly different flavors. So I don't know if you all have had Redwood Empire Devil's Tower.
Mhm.
Yeah. Happy?
Yep.
Okay.
To me, that's a very fruity kind of rye bourbon.
Okay.
To me, it tastes like fruit salad. And that's kind of how this tasted when the barrels were just
Wow.
opened.
Well, that's sort of almost a similar
Mhm.
similar kind of aging area.
Yeah.
I think Sonoma and that would be
Mhm.
kind of similar. Yes.
Not to interrupt, but get to the chat here. Looks like we got Whiskey Uncensored is in here now with his balls
Yeah, he comes in
comment.
and says balls, and he usually doesn't stick around. But I love the fact that he just comes and says balls, and he leaves.
Yeah.
Like check mark on here.
Yeah, check mark right here. I'm gonna say balls.
Bourbon Hunter Lee is here.
Yes,
Sweet Lisa is now here.
yes.
Lip Service Crew is here. Dave Vogelsang is here.
Do we say hello to William Hall?
I don't know if we did or not. Welcome,
If
William.
not, then you get two.
Gandy's here.
And yeah, Gandy is always here. He was saying how Tab sucks, and it wasn't Tab a diet. Wasn't that automatically a diet?
Yeah.
It's still out. I think
But
that was
isn't
one of
that-
the first ones.
But it's a pure diet soda, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Made it something.
Yeah, no wonder it sucks.
First of the chemicals
Yeah. Something.
that
Yeah.
caused all of our issues today.
First of the good stuff.
And Mr. Bulbus of course, is here. I don't think we said hello to you. So, again, as you guys come through the chat, we apologize. We may be, obviously involved on trying to get these bottles, and that was a good one.
It was that.
That's hard to choose which one I like better.
I'm.
I like the second one only because I'm a coffee guy,
Yeah.
and I get a lot. I get some coffee notes out of it. So, but holy fuck, that's so much better than that freaking Heaven Hill stock that I got. That coffee.
Oh, yes.
that thing was garbage.
That was. Yeah.
That
What
was.
was it?
Oh, dude, I gotta give you a sample.
It's a select. It was a select stock, and it was a
Oh.
coffee blend or
One
coffee.
of the ones that the unusual,
Dude.
like the Buffalo experimental.
It,
things.
it tasted like if coffee was left in my pot for 3 days.
Yeah.
You got it at room temperature.
And then you microwaved it and drank it.
It
Yeah.
wasn't heated. It
Yeah.
was got off. Anyways, my point is.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But it reminds me of the Baker 7 High Rye,
Mhm.
and I love that, and this is on at that level. I think that is
It
great.
reminds me of a good turkey too.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
turkey
Yeah.
nuts there too.
Yep. I when I was doing this, like I said, I'm a big Russell's fan, big Wild Turkey fan. My favorite bourbon I've ever had is a bottle I bought off Mercari of an old ceramic decanter of Wild Turkey,
wow.
distilled in 72, bottled in 80.
No
And
shit.
Wow.
I took a chance on it. It was $30. I was like, if it shows up and it's empty, at least I have a good mantle
Wait a minute,
ornament.
That's worth the bottle for $30.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did you get it for $30?
That's just what they had it listed at. So it was still in the box. They hadn't taken the styrofoam off of it. It still had the tax stamp
Some
on it.
people just still don't know, do they?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you pictures of it here
You got it
afterwards.
for $30?
Yeah, $30 shipped, and
Chips.
yeah,
Dude, funny.
Chips is like $10.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I get it to my house, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
please tell me there's bourbon in it. And
Yeah.
so I pick up the package, and it's just heavy, and I'm like,
Yeah. All right.
I struck gold, yeah. And so I pop it open and I immediately drained it out into a decanter, and it wasn't oxidized at
That was a
all.
cork.
It snapped in half, so I had to use a wine
you
opener to
expect
get
What,
it out.
which that even
Yeah.
tells you more so. But $30, good God,
Yeah.
dude, I'd pay $300 for that.
I got really
I
lucky.
mean, it's a vintage.
You pay $30 for the bottle to stick it on your shelf.
Yeah.
The empty,
I mean,
empty
yeah,
bottle.
yeah, you're right.
Or more.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an interesting story.
Yeah, I'll show you the pictures afterwards, but it's a turkey with its fan on display.
Wow.
We got,
Wow.
we got a new viewer here, I believe, steering wheel commentator.
Well,
He
and
comes
look,
in and says, "Balls."
Ben Bohannon is on.
That's a
Yep.
cool name.
Yep. So Ben,
Steering wheel what?
So Ben's on.
yeah, I was gonna say Ben's my co-founder for this.
Okay.
One of the co-founders. Yeah.
Ben, you're more than welcome if you wanted to chime in. We can Zoom you in, partner. let us know if you're interested.
We were talking a lot about him before the show started.
Yeah, so don't watch it beforehand.
Yeah. Don't tell them what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, we love your product. I gotta be honest with you. You guys got something going on here.
I don't bring no duds in here. I don't bring no duds in.
You don't. I mean,
Yeah.
at least your reputation, holds true.
Precedes me.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you made a good point. You were asking, which one do you like? And so we go to bourbon festivals, and it's usually half and half.
Okay.
About half the people like the 4-year-old better, and
Yeah.
about half the people
You know
like
what?
the 7-year better.
That's actually good.
And I like
Kinda what you
both.
Yeah.
I really did.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right. That's what you want.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you don't want 80-20.
And there's not really a huge difference in price in those two. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I lost that. What was the pricing on both of them? I didn't
So
remember.
$59.99 and $79.99.
Okay.
And so these barrels actually just turned 5 years old and 8 years old.
Oh, nice.
So our next batches are going to be an even higher age
So
statement.
$79.99 for an 8-year-old. So you're staying on that $10
Yeah.
age statement kind of thing, and that was the thing before, and you're still be able to maintain that.
That's
Yeah.
great prices for those
Yeah,
bottles. That's great
exactly.
price. Yeah,
Well-
you could charge more than that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and as
And you know
Nancy, I was going to say, as Nancy said, you're always fighting the proverbial forces of evil that is the accounting department. So I'm always going to want to lower the price, and
Right.
they're always going to want to keep it where it's at.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a great.
But you got to hit that market that's not going to do the $120 bottles.
yeah.
Well, I think the $100 market is
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard
agree.
to make that
It's fine.
decision. Yeah.
because I've noticed like even when I go to the OHLQ stores, a lot of the Discovery series
Mhm.
they're being marked down to $99 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The average are going down. Yes.
Yeah, so I think that market has gone away, and a lot of people are finding good bourbons under 100. But like,
Mhm.
I can buy 2 bottles for the same price of a Discovery,
Yeah.
and these are just as good bottles.
Well, they're putting out a lot of 50, good 50. I mean, Barstown's putting
Oh yeah, they
$50,
and they
$60 bottles.
and good time.
They have a new store pick down there. I saw it the other day. I didn't get it for $70, and I bet it's killer.
Oh, they're in the gift shop.
Yes.
So I had a pour of that one. So it was
Oh,
like a
yep.
distiller selection. It was phenomenal. So
And it was only like $70 or something.
yeah.
They're
So
open tomorrow, by the way, Jeff.
I was going to say, I think it was their variation on like a Buffalo Trace, or their take on a
And
Buffalo Trace mash
I
bill.
think they're trying to get in, but to get down in that price range.
And what-
Because everything else was.
What does that go for?
70 something?
70 something, and it was a 6-year-old.
It's a little bit more than their Origin series.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not,
Do they get- they do away-
120,
Yeah. They do away from their Fusion. Is that done?
So it's distillery only, I think.
Fusion.
Yeah.
So I figured the Origin took over the Fusion.
So the Origin's kind of supplemental to that, from my
Okay.
understanding, because I know they just came out with the high wheat Origin that came out earlier last year.
That yellow label.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't cracked it open yet.
Seems like Fusion is more of a, it's come and go. Let's try it like they did the West Virginia Barrel.
Yeah.
Company one that I liked a lot, the rye.
Oh,
Yeah.
you had that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, nice.
Was that-
Of course you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. You had
Yeah.
to, right? Yeah. So.
I was looking at the thing. I said, there's the WV. Wow.
Big shield on the back there.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, their collabs are all awesome. I love getting to see the
That's a
unique
great
things that they
distillery,
do.
too. That's the restaurant there is killer. Oh, it's just-
Real quick, for those who joined on a little late, Whiskey on Citrus, just remind them again who you guys are once more.
Yeah, so Logan Buchanan, I'm the master blender for the Bond and Vincero's Spirits in Thornbush. We're based out of Bardstown, Kentucky. Acquired land and should have a distillery hopefully in the next 18 months or so.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Keith Glennon, I'm the booking agent for a lot of Ohio podcasts, YouTube channels.
Yes, we now have he's our new publicist.
yeah,
Yes.
he's my new agent. He's,
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm the
Yeah.
guy in the back.
Yes.
I'm like Elvis's manager. I'm like, what's his name, Doc?
Oh, Taylor, Colonel.
Colonel Taylor.
No, that's Keith Taylor. Colonel, whatever his name was.
Colonel Glennon.
All right. That'll be your new name now. That'll be-
I like
that'll
it.
be- Awesome. Okay, so
Now.
I gotta be honest, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, so I was going to say, we can pour a little bit of dessert here. So this is probably the most wild thing we make.
Okay.
It's a 2-year wheated bourbon,
Okay.
high wheat, so 45% wheat, with all natural blackberry in it.
And compared to everyone else, it's not weeded and it's not all natural, right?
It's artificial, right? That
yeah.
crown is artificial.
Yeah, well, and it's I don't believe it's aged either. I believe it's simply just grain neutral spirits or.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the majority of I know Starlight does light whiskey in theirs, and they age it a little bit. but a Crown I don't believe ages it.
Is it because the blackberries flavor just takes over so much? It doesn't really,
Yeah.
for them, it doesn't really matter what they put in it.
Yeah, and they add a little bit more blackberry into it to kind of
Okay.
cover up and kind of make up for that.
So
I would imagine they can take some bad barrels that they have of something, right?
Yep,
And
or
they can hide it with, yeah, right?
yeah, if they mess up a batch, it's like, yeah, just flavor it. Put some
Yeah,
apple
it's
or
not
put some
brown.
blackberry in it. Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Peach,
no.
peach, and let's keep going down the flavor.
Salted caramel, all that crap, right?
Yeah.
Apple.
But,
All right, let's do it.
but yeah, so like I said, high wheat and then all natural blackberry.
This is all also gettable online.
Yes, thornbushwhiskey.com. It's 75 proof, so a little lower proof than what we've had. It's a distilled spirit specialty, which is why we were able to keep bourbon on the label.
Hold on. What?
Look at the color.
Explain that. How would you be able to get away with that?
So distilled spirit specialty is kind of the Wild West for bourbon labeling and labeling in general, where essentially the TTB says, well, there's not really a way to describe it, so you just kind of make up your own and we'll approve it or not.
And they let you do that. Really?
Yeah, that.
I don't know another bottle that does that.
Yeah, so there's we've thought about changing the proof to get it up to 80 just to kind of solidify things
Sure.
and make sure there's no really kind of debate there. But yeah.
Wow. Well, Andy and Brian, everybody, I'm gonna show you the bottle.
Yeah, I was going to say it is kind of a dark red hue, kind of a little bit different than most of what you'd think of bourbon. But so I actually use coloring foods.
So probably the Canadian one, I'm not gonna say the name, they're more like a fireball-ish, where it's not really like fireball's not really whiskey, it's just
Yeah.
some kind of alcohol with cinnamon flavor.
Yeah. So that was actually taught in a class to me at the Beam Institute
Very cool.
at one point in time. Is that Fireball was just the heads and the tails redistilled
Really?
and allowed them to turn waste into
Which is a major money
product.
maker for Sazerac, obviously, and everyone loves that cinnamon.
yeah. But yeah, so as I said, all natural. I use the blackberry is just blackberry water, citric acid. That's it. And then the color actually comes from coloring foods. So it's carrots that are grown to be like a really, really dark red, really dark purple.
Yeah, it's like a plum wine.
Yep.
So carrots, the
The vegetable.
yeah.
Remember that from childhood?
Yeah, but
Now, is it technically organic? Can you hit that market too?
Not yet. So I
There's
believe.
probably a big opportunity there, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing for us is, a lot of brands use red dye 40. We distribute all of our products to Europe actually. So
You can't do that, can you?
yeah, and you can't send red dye 40
I
there.
need some cake.
That
This
is
great. This is a very good.
These
Dessert.
these
Yeah, ice cream.
vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
And,
It'd be a nice sauce.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you just pour the shit on there.
Yeah.
Now or something.
Yeah.
See?
Yep.
man, that is
Late at night when everybody's asleep.
usually when you drink a flavored bourbon like this, you get that cough syrup kind of.
Oh, it's not
Chemical.
It's not, you can tell you.
This is
your ingredients.
it's sweet, and you get that that fruit flavor out of it. That
And
is,
there's no medicine.
there's no medicine
Yep.
taste to this.
You
This
can,
is
this thing can hurt.
I think this is going to be, in my opinion, this is going to make their mark, so they can, in my opinion.
well, yeah. You
So
said
the
this
other
was
the other ones will follow that.
right. You
But I
said
think
this
that
was
will
your
make the
bestseller, right?
Yeah, so right now it's our best seller. We use it in a lot of cocktails. So some people like to drink it straight. More often than not, people put it in cocktails and it just goes so well in it that you can't taste the bourbon. So you met us at Bruzel Festival, and
People loved it with lemonade.
Yeah.
And it was hot that day. Oh, it was just like people were going
Oh,
back
man,
to second
that
and
would-
third. So
yeah.
That would be dangerous.
I have lemonade upstairs.
yeah, and I was,
I'm not gonna get it,
but yeah. So the big thing for us is, I wanted to make something that, if a wife or girlfriend was coming along with
Sure.
somebody and didn't find anything there that they wanted to try,
Or even your friends that don't
They
drink
could-
bourbon.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of people that you mention bourbon to them, they're like, let's do a shot. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
But you can
my-
do a lot of things with this, though. You could it doesn't have to be neat. It could mixer. Shit, I would say you
I mean,
can.
on the rocks, even on the rocks would be cool.
Yeah, even you can put it in your food.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm working on putting it into a cobbler. So we're gonna see how that
Oh my
blackberry
God.
cobbler, seeing how that works out.
Holy crap!
So I mentioned the Blackberry Festival, so they do a cobbler competition every year. So I may try to put some of that in there and
Oh my.
see what I
God.
can
Wouldn't that
do.
be something?
I know
Yeah.
we're all going to Bourbon on the Bank, so I just got my tickets. I
Yeah.
think you guys were there too, right?
Yep.
Yes. Are you
Yep.
going to the Barstown Bourbon Festival too?
We're trying to. Working on getting a booth there, but yep, already got our tickets for Bourbon on the Banks.
Very
Last time we were at Bourbon on the Banks, we sold out of that in 45 minutes.
Are you doing Bruisel?
Oh, no kidding.
Are you doing Bruisel Fest this year?
Working on it. Yeah.
I
But
think
yeah.
it'll be bigger this year, I think.
Mhm.
Yes, Ben. That's how all the New Year's resolution people can go straight to this bottle because they're going to be like it's healthy.
Well, in the morning when
Yeah.
you get up, you can put it in your protein drink.
Yes.
It's got blueberry flavor, and then you're good.
You can do a lot of things with it.
Yep.
You really
Yeah.
can. It's very versatile.
Yep. Well, so you mentioned in the morning when you get up. So I use a higher grade sugar in this than
Okay.
most people use. It's kind of more processed, but it doesn't give you a hangover. So Ben can attest to this. I think he drank a little too much of it one night. Was able to get up at 6 o'clock the next morning without a headache, without anything. So
So I'm curious as far as so you're like a mad scientist.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So iterations, like
Mhm.
how many iterations, like do you go through?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go through to get to where you want?
So
To
this
get to that even.
yeah.
That's a story there. Yeah.
So this took me 8 months to do. And so I tried every blackberry whiskey available on the market and kind of picked out what I liked about some and what I disliked about others. And then tried to apply all that into one bottle. And so it took me about 10 iterations to
really?
get,
Wow.
yeah. And so, some I just settle on and say, yeah, that's good. I like that. And
Yeah.
then come back to it after a couple of weeks
Tweak
and
it a little
say,
bit.
no, it's not for me. I need to tweak
Yeah.
this. But yeah, so usually it's anywhere from 10. I'm working on another that we went through about
I'm excited.
7 or 8 on so far.
Now, is there one that you've done
I'm
that had
excited
just,
about that one, the new one.
Yeah.
is there one that you've done that's driven you nuts? Like you're just obsessive with it, and then you wait, you realize it's freaking 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like on iteration, whatever.
Yeah. So a celebrity brand that we're working on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess
so,
we'll keep it that, don't we?
yeah. Yeah. But I'll tell you once the camera's turned off.
All
But
right, well, fair enough.
but yeah, so working on a blend for that,
Okay.
and it's going to be a 10-barrel blend.
Is it because of that status is the reason why it's driving you next to perfection, or it's just
The barrels are so good and have so many different qualities that I want to bring
Right.
out in it, and so they're beam barrels. I'll be open and
Okay.
honest. I try to be honest about everything because in today's day and age, there's too many people that are
Well, sometimes you come out
dishonest
and
or
you're
try
like,
to hide things.
I
Yeah.
like to know sort of what the background is and
Yeah.
how you change that compared to what they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, and so it's for me. I was able to work out a lot of that beam nuttiness. So
Okay.
that's kind of what drove me crazy a little bit at first. And so I was like, well, a lot of people are going to taste it and say, "Yep, that's beam. It tastes like peanuts."
So
Um,
obviously, with the Jim Beam experience, and
Mhm.
Jim Beam has a humongous footprint on this
Mhm.
campus.
yeah, absolutely.
So would you say that's kind of naturally where you get driven to it because you would have natural connections through the Beam people because of UK?
That your degrees even says that, right?
So the distillation wine and brewing science does, but actually
Has
no.
what? I'm sorry. Has Beam on it?
He's on the Jim Beam Institute at UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so actually the barrels came from another wholesaler.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of difficult to buy barrels directly from like a Beam or a Wild Turkey or somebody
Okay.
like that. So for us, we have basically this entire network of brokers that we met our first couple years in business before we got into this.
Okay.
And we're able to kind of call on them and say, hey, this is what we're looking for.
Right,
They
right.
send us a list every month and say, this is what we have available. And
So you're already shopping for what's your next project then, right?
yeah. And we get crazy stuff, and I'm a nerd with all this stuff. So, I mean, we had somebody call us and say, hey, I've got 40-year-old Macallan. You got 30 minutes to decide if you want it or not.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's too rich for my blood. I think I'm going to pass, but it's cool just to get offered it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Did you get offered any of the turkey buffalo barrels?
the Russell O Trace, yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Kind of
a
a sheepish,
fascinating.
got a sheepy little smile there.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, and this is where I think Jeff and I always say, and probably obviously, I think this is where you're at, maybe perhaps in your journey too, is like we're past the legacy part.
Yeah.
Like I think we learned enough about them. We kind of moved on, and we are now into the craft or the micro distillers or whatever.
And single
And,
barrels.
and yeah, the single barrels, all that stuff, because I think they're able to pivot so quickly with the market change, and I can go to them and see what the trend is
Yeah.
before it becomes the major trend, and become maybe like one of those test buyers as far as whether or not it's good to the market or stuff like that. But I'm willing to try It basically any kind of bourbon. I think it's fascinating, and the story that you guys have as far as with your friend in college. I think that makes it even more fascinating. I think your age, honest to God, makes it extremely fascinating.
I was
because-
24. I
Thank
can't
you.
imagine
Right.
being that far into my career.
He's the same age as my youngest son.
Yeah.
which is amazing because what that does, it excites me.
Yeah, me too.
So follow your career from now on and see what else you end up doing because now I, know what your products are now. I can't wait to see whatever future products you have.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
if you're going to eventually build a distillery, what do you think? I know you're going to keep doing this till you're up and going. When do you think you'll barrel your first? Because that means that day you barrel, 5 to 7 years when we'll get your finished product.
Yeah.
So when do you think you will start barreling? Or
Um,
do you even know that far yet?
don't know that far yet. It'll be about that 18-month period from now.
Awesome.
About at the end of that is when we're going to have everything set up and good to go.
You start barreling your own.
Yeah, yep. And so,
So you're looking at maybe like your early 30s to start bottling it? You
maybe
want to project it out or
Yeah.
late 20s?
I was going to say maybe 31, 32.
So being, again, the West Virginia connection for me, obviously, Smooth Ambler are now putting out some of their own juice that was aged in West Virginia. I really love it because they made their name with MGP, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, but now they're doing that. I'm excited to see when your stuff comes. I'll be
Yeah.
excited. To
Well,
see that.
and you take a big risk in doing that. I mean, you're
Yes.
blending from MGP or from some other source, Bardstown, wherever, and you start out on your own, and you're making your own. That's a big risk
Yeah.
because I mean, you almost have to change the name just so you don't.
Well, just like New Riff did. They did OKI.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And then it
Yeah.
became New Riff afterwards. But
And then, make some vodka and gin and to make you some money till you get going on the other things too, like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
That's which is your,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say this is kind of the cash flow us while all that's going on and while stuff is aging, but we still do have a barrel inventory from the hedge fund side of things.
so this is your answer to the vodka and gin.
Like
As far as
Yeah.
cash flow wise,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is I think you appeal. You guys are smart. You already know this, but you appeal to more people. I think maybe in this sector by doing this than the vodka and gin.
It's a little more unique.
It is.
And I love the research and the time and the effort compared to just throwing a cinnamon flavor in something and
Sure.
put it in a barrel. And everyone needs to try that definitely. So,
Yeah.
So Brian says for sure, Charlie at Bourbon and Ballz, you love all bourbons. Now did I say that?
So what?
Did I say I love all bourbons? I just said I tried all bourbons.
No, you said that you would love to try all bourbons.
I have a bourbon.
Correct. Doesn't mean I say I love all
You
bourbons
didn't say you love all bourbons.
because it's well known.
And we're working on the American single malt.
Well, that was the next.
We'll
That was
get
the next
there.
comment. Are they thinking about any kind of single malts? They're asking you.
Yeah, so I've considered it. So I'm a big fan of what Virginia Distilling Company does.
Love
Phenomenal stuff.
that cuvee cask.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was going to say that's another one of Nancy's blends as well.
is that yours too?
I don't know.
She
I
helped
did not
me.
know that. Saying.
They did I bought in Virginia because Bruzel's getting the barrel of it.
Yeah,
So I bought one in Virginia. It's in, I'm saying cuvee?
yeah, I believe so.
Cuvee wine cask. It's American single malt in the wine cask. It's really good.
Huh.
I'll get you some.
Yeah, I was going to say Claremont Steep. Claremont Steep, if you haven't tried it, is very good. It's a bean product, but it was aged in a new fill barrel, so it brings out some more bourbon type notes in a single malt.
Being we're all still a little bit novice about American single malts. What's the big difference in you producing an American single malt than this bottle?
Yeah, so for this one kind of has to meet all the bourbon stats of it has to be
All
at least
rules, yeah.
51% corn. It can have
They
other
have-
grains.
American single malt now has those rules, right?
Yes. So usually American single malt it has to be 100% malted barley. But where it kind of differs a little bit is that you can use 2-row barley and 6-row barley in the product, and it's still kind of a single malt.
What about barrels for the American single malt?
So single
was-
malt does not have to be in a new barrel every time.
Oh,
So it can be in spent barrels
Compared to
or
bourbon, it has to
yeah,
be new.
first fill.
She wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, not
But no, I was going to say, to answer the question, yeah, I've thought about it. I'm considering doing it. I'm interested in a lot of single grain whiskeys. So I like the challenge of seeing like a corn whiskey and saying, okay, how can I make this
Corn
as
hazmat
complex
would be
as possible? The other thing that I tried it once and it's been on my mind since is the Frey Ranch 100% wheat.
Yes.
And it tasted like icing. I mean, it was.
Now I know
I haven't had that, but they say it's really good.
I know Frey Ranch gets shit on, but I did it in the blind thanks to Cast 529 on their Christmas Advent. But I had a Frey Ranch cast drink. That was good. I liked it a lot.
Fragrance has got
Some people
some
chill it,
people
but I don't.
love it though.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I mean, let's address the elephant in the room when we talk about Claremont Steep, because I
Yeah.
mean, we kind of got a little bit of a varying opinion on that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's a single malt,
Ugh.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and
I tried and I tried. I can't get
Yeah.
into single malts.
yeah,
I'm out.
because we're all honest on this show, so we're not going to let that flow by like we're not
Yeah,
going to say
yeah.
nothing. But you know, it is kind of a hard for us anyway to get through.
Mhm.
Maybe we need to revisit it. I mean, it's been
Claremont
a
Steep
while.
on here is like the redheaded stepchild. We
is.
we beat the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
Quite a bit on the show.
I've never really heard anything good about that from any
Yeah.
different channels.
then
and
again,
stuff
if we
I read
don't-
about that, you know.
You know what? Maybe I watch a single malt channel and they like it, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
this is just not our jam. And
It might be. It might be it. It might be just that you may ever really take on to that single malt
I don't think I
route.
ever will.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I keep it up in mind.
I've drank a couple and I like some, and then there's some that are just
There's some bottles that people love them, and then
I know,
there's the other
yeah.
guy that's like it tastes like you even have that genetic disposition to taste weird things and things. It's some people just don't click things.
Yeah.
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 You know what? That's a good excuse I have for myself.
Yes,
I have
you
a genetic
genetically inclined to not like certain things,
Yeah. I was going to say, I hear
genetically
people say it's damp.
or he's from Ohio.
No, I'll go for that. Which, by the way, what do you think about our Bengals? Not to get off topic. You into sports?
I'm a big Bengals fan. Yeah.
So what do you think about this signing?
Yeah.
I'm very happy about it.
I told you I'm gonna let you have your moment. You'll end up.
You don't even have a quarterback.
I-
He's Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I didn't bring my
Which I
terrible
did,
towel with me.
You don't have a quarterback. And Brian on here is from he like Pittsburgh too, from Cast 529. I mean, I get them shit all the time. You guys don't have a quarterback.
Not yet.
You have Mason freaking Rudolph.
Please,
That's
God,
your
no.
starting quarterback if the season starts.
We will have a guy come that used to play for the Packers.
I hope to God you guys get Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
I will laugh my ass off. You deserve every
Oh
point.
man.
While you do that, we have the best tandem in the
Now, I
league.
tell
You've
you
had
what,
the best tandem in the
I
league for
love-
the last 9 years, and you ain't got nowhere.
Eagles quarterback. That's a class kid. I love that kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I live an hour from Athens. He does a lot for that community still yet. He
Mhm.
doesn't have to.
Hey,
Class
Tim,
kid.
I just mentioned you guys.
As far as Burrow, like I told him this afternoon, he's good. You know,
No,
he is good, but I think it's only as good as he's in that elite league because of the people that he's surrounded him, his receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I get all that.
They are the elite, yeah. And I think that's why Burrow is up there as
They
well.
paid some big money for first two.
Burrow's good. He's good. I'm
made them franchise players. Right?
Burrow is
Yeah.
great.
It's 'cause- yeah. I'm very happy with the signings.
But now we get Trey Hendrickson. And we need to get him signed. And
Yeah.
And they say they're bringing in Bob Huggins for an assistant for the Bengals too. So.
I love me but some Bob Huggins.
Yeah.
I do. And I
That man can get you straight. Nobody.
I heard Brian Kelly was coming in as the offensive coordinator.
dude, I swear to God, no. Dude, I will denounce myself as a Bengals fan if Brian Kelly was set
Well,
foot back in the city.
and-
This city will never welcome.
Since we have all of our Ohio people, we've not even mentioned the team in Cleveland, but
They don't have anybody. Oh, they have Kenny Pickett now.
That's all right. Yeah,
That's a full circle. So that's good.
should have never gotten rid of him.
you know what? That Kevin Costner movie was really good. And I thought after that movie,
Oh,
came
draft
out,
day.
I thought that,
Yeah.
that would change that team in my mind for some reason. That'll make people.
Do you remember this movie that came out? They had to rewrite the ending because they were dogging on the Boston Red Sox for the longest time. Is that Jimmy Fallon fever pitch?
Yeah,
And I don't know if you know anything about it. It basically they were making fun of Boston as far as them never winning it, and the whole script was basically dogging them because they're lovable losers, kind of like the Cubs. And then that was the same year they were filming, and the same year they won their first championship since the Kirks, right?
Yeah.
So they had to rewrite the ending because of that. So maybe that was hoping for draft day to the Cleveland Browns, but it did not happen that way. They're still
Hopefully, there's some good banter going with or hacking on people's.
So
teams.
hey, real quick, 210's on. We mentioned you guys earlier. They are on at 10 o'clock tonight from Vegas.
What's that curse word to me?
Bungles. Yeah, I know,
the
whatever,
Bungles.
Brian. Jesus.
Cut him off, Sean.
Yeah, we're gonna. Can we put them in a timeout as a moderator? If you want to put somebody in a timeout, I think you can.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
Yeah, you can put them in a penalty box. Maybe we'll try that. Brian can be our guinea pig on it. So they are 210's on at 10 o'clock. Which, by the way, they're streaming from Vegas tonight. So that should be fun.
mm-hmm.
Man, could you imagine doing a stream from Vegas?
What are they there for?
Um,
I don't know why they're there.
I don't know. put it
I thought everybody was here in
Yeah.
the industry.
Yeah, no, you know what? We're the only media people here.
Really? I thought it was more media than anything else.
We looked in the thing, and it's all people who are interested, basically. And correct me on this. This is the one thing we learned when we came, especially on day one. We're going through these couple of conferences and stuff like that. I quickly realized, like, one, I don't know how we got media pass because this has nothing to do with media. It has nothing to do with, I mean, network, sure, but it's a lot about people who wants to get into the business and maybe who are already in the business looking for different vendors as far as like corn people or grain people, whatever that is, or machinery, stuff like that. Basically, the behind the scenes. Is that the best way to put this conference?
I would say that, and then also continuing education.
Okay.
So kind of keeping everybody in the industry up to date on current trends, kind of scientific findings, innovations that may be occurring
Yes.
that are either still at the research level or are being developed and can be applied. So like one of the big sessions I sat in on, they were discussing a grain dryer. And essentially they've created this way where they can dry out the grains from the mash after it's all been distilled, and then actually put it into dog treats. You can put it into food products.
We met this
Most of the
guy.
time they give it away, right?
That's the guy
yeah.
we met
Everyone else
before
does.
we got our tickets.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I guess he said there's no, I mean, they're inventing that part, but for the longest time, there's no way to, if something's wrong with the grain, you don't know it until the distillation process, is what he was telling us. And then it's too late. And then you have a bad barrel.
So that's something a little bit different.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But so yeah, this is like for lack of better words, the slop that's left over after after the distillation process has occurred.
Okay.
And usually, as you said, Keith, they have to give it away to farmers who feed it to their
Usually the
pigs or
farmers
their
there,
cattle.
they'll
Oh, is that where they get the slop at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it gives them a little buzz.
Yeah, and so
Cows love it. Yeah. Seriously?
Well, I mean, they put it through the hogs and everything, right?
yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, we did the tour at Pepper. And the farmer was there with his big camp, with his big trailer, filling it up. And, they could actually make some do something with that. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point as to why we're here for the media is just this.
No.
Yeah,
Correct.
and,
I
and we
appreciate them
learned
being inviting us. Don't get me wrong.
we learned something too that I didn't know this, and anybody else here might know this. There's actually a cork tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
cork
I did
tree
not know
actually-
that.
That's endangered, right?
I don't know about that, but we
Yeah.
talked to a vendor, and she was talking the whole process of making corks, and
I thought it'd be
we're going to
like,
have her
I
on.
thought cork was like MDF or something.
Yeah.
And it was just compressed.
And a lot of people use synthetic, right? Not everybody uses real cork.
So I actually use synthetic. So
Okay.
cork can actually get viruses that make
Oh, that
or the
carries-
trees,
okay.
that can make your corks disintegrate. And so,
So did you decide that right away? That's what you're doing?
yeah, so I decided that because it keeps the bourbon fresher longer.
Well, on that note,
Interesting.
could you get a cork that's got a virus in it, and it contaminates your whiskey,
Yeah.
and you get the funk on a
And
whiskey?
especially if you keep you're keeping your bourbon 20 years.
Yeah,
And that virus and stuff could really muck it up. And
that's interesting.
and then I think now the wine industry using the cork too. The cork there's a kind of a cork shortage around the world, and a lot of people are going to synthetic for those reasons. And I think Fred Minnick did a thing where some people are studying to see the toxic effects of cork.
Interesting.
bottles. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
it's
spent too much time listening to the podcast.
No, I think I think to Danny's point and to what we're talking, to your point, maybe synthetic is the way to go. I don't see the downside. I don't know if there is one. Maybe the cost.
it's actually more expensive to get the natural cork.
Okay.
So it's a quality thing. So whenever you look at a lot of higher end bottles, they'll use real cork in theirs.
Yeah.
But for me, I think of the wine industry. I'm sure if you've been to a restaurant with a sommelier, they bring that out and say, can you smell any cork taint? Can you do any of this? And so for bourbon, if you were to say put it on your shelf like this or put it in a cabinet, something like that spirit is going to eat away at the cork. And it's eventually going to let air in and make your whiskey go bad. And so, like the turkey we were talking about earlier, that's what happened.
That's
with
why I asked you about that. 'Cause I
Yeah.
heard that on the podcast about how it disintegrates and then the bourbon goes back because it has all the air for 20 years.
that.
Yeah, see, I've always been told, and I always do it. You never lay down the bottle. You
Mm-hmm.
just always stand on wine. It's
You lay
great,
down
lay
wine,
down
but
wine,
the
but you
bourbon
stand it up.
up,
Yeah,
Yep.
So
And-
Jeff's
but you
gonna
have to turn it over at least every 6 months to
Okay.
Yeah.
to keep the cork moist. But yeah,
But Jeff, we don't know when, but Jeff is going to have those people we met yesterday
Yeah,
That's all they do is make corks.
that's all they do is make corks
So we have an
for
episode of
different.
corks.
Does anybody even really use in their base things regular cork anymore? It's all everybody. I think everybody looks synthetic now. And
Yeah,
Jim Beam
just
said-
about.
I mean, I don't know. Do you know anyone that uses real cork except for, like I said, the high end bottles?
There were
I would
several.
have to
What about Hard Truth? Is that real cork or is that synthetic?
I think it's real cork. I was gonna
It's a
say I
big
know
chunk.
Basil Hayden's uses real corks, I
Okay.
believe.
They gotta do
Chattanooga
something- they gotta do
whiskey.
something to-
Yeah,
Well, maybe that's why they're trying to make it taste better.
yeah. Let it air out a bit.
Oh, shit, we got our
We are in Jim Beam.
My bad. Jim Beam, or Hayden, it's good.
It's strategic. They're letting it air out.
Security guys one over there.
Yeah. You know what though? The dark rye was good. I will give.
It was.
Hayden that. I really like the dark rye.
Yeah.
Before I got into bourbon, and I tasted a basil one night, I thought I didn't realize at the time it was 80 proof. It's why I liked it for because it
Yeah.
has no burn at all.
Yeah.
But then when I got into it, obviously I didn't fell away from it.
Well, I look back on when people ask me, well, what's your favorite bourbon?
Yeah.
And back then, I was like, well, I like Basil Hayden.
Yes.
Because that's in Angel's Envy. It's,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
we were at Jim Beam, my wife and I last fall, and there were people buying flights of basil all down the bar,
yeah.
and
Interesting.
some people love it. You know,
Yeah.
and
So real quick, also don't forget hashtag Logan for our guest today. He has been able to take a little bit of time out of his busy schedule to come see us this evening. We do greatly appreciate it.
knows about the cork.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
Gandy says, look,
Hard Truth.
Hard Truth, Russell's, Old Forester, JD, all use cork.
Mhm.
Gandy, how do you know that? That's nerdy.
Because he's on every podcast on demand.
Yeah, Gandy he's the man.
I was on Bourbon Jerk a couple weeks ago. I was thinking, finally.
Oh, you found a channel that Gandy didn't like.
But no, I was talking to Dave was on there too. And I was like,
Okay.
finally a channel that Gandy's not on. And then the Bourbon Jerk goes, hey, where is Gandy?
Oh, shit.
So it does not exist. You know, there's not a channel up there
That's fine.
in the Bourbon Tube that Gandy.
Gandy, I'm just giving you a hard time.
We love Gandy.
Yeah, we love Gandy. Gandy
We're
is.
all getting Gandy tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
I
love
don't know about that.
I was gonna say the omnipotent, or
Yeah,
I was gonna, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but he's everywhere.
yes, he is, and
Great guy.
Gandy is
All there at the awesome
Yeah.
guy. He's
like Gandy and Dave and Charles.
no,
Those
sometimes
guys
kinda
are everywhere, and they
Yeah.
could not be nicer people.
I heard there's a competition going between Dave and Rye Guy about who gives the best samples. Sure that?
Oh, really?
I heard that. I don't think Dave said it'd be enough for me to decide yet.
Jesus. You know what? I tell people all the time, and don't forget hashtag Logan, by the way. I tell people all the time, if you play it right, you seriously could just live off these channels and never have to buy whiskey ever again.
I have my own shelf for samples now.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I gonna do with all these samples?
You end up having like over 100 samples, people to send you shit.
But it's so cool though. You can just try so many different things without really
Oh, yeah.
actually investing all that
Yeah.
money.
You seriously can live off these channels and never buy any whiskey.
Yeah.
Which is
We got
fantastic.
so many. There's little 1 ounce and 2 ounce
Yeah.
bottles of everywhere.
So, Lo, do you mind sticking around? You don't want
Yeah,
to
I don't mind sticking around.
Okay. We want to go over probably maybe our apartment hall.
Yeah.
Maybe you have an opinion or two about the. I'm sure it's not just your bourbon you drink,
Mhm.
right? It's-
Did
Yeah,
you ID
absolutely.
him to see if he legally can drink?
Well, he gave us.
Yeah.
He's getting over his age.
Yeah, we'd be.
He's still
I
young.
Yeah. I was gonna say you've got the evidence on camera, so
I have T-shirts that are older than him.
Okay. So hey guys, we're gonna go over our bottle haul. We swore that we would not get any bottles on our journey. We were gonna just go straight to the conference and meet a few people. But
Tell my wife I only bought one.
yes, there you go. He only bought one. So, you're only supposed to buy
I bought one too.
and
You
another
bought
one.
all those other ones.
I didn't buy all these other ones. Anyway, let's go through them. So, all right, we're just gonna grab closest to it. So, and we have a story that maybe
We do.
you-
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to leave it on the camera too.
just gonna make some space.
We went to Glens Creek today.
Mhm.
What a fascinating! I mean, I think we all know in the history, not history books, but the history of bourbon and how
Yeah.
of a role they played. But I'm gonna let Jeff tell the story because we met this older man.
Yeah, that's a cool story. Yeah.
We didn't realize, but I got the. It's called a sweet. I like to call it sweaty, but it's Glens Creek. It is a wheated bourbon. Gandy, I think you would like this. Man, this was a very, very good, very good pour. I have to look online to see what the mass bill was. But go ahead.
Yeah, R.W. Robinson.
Show these. Oops.
As we were talking to the guy, Jason, I think his name was. He was the one giving us the samples, and this older gentleman walked in, and he said, "This is Bob. This is the guy that saved Old Crow." And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "It was an easy thing to figure out." And I was like, "Well, can you tell us about it?" And he said, "Well, sure." And he kind of stood there and looked at me for a second, and I was like, "Well, what'd you do?"
Yeah.
You know? And he said, back in the '60s, Old Crow was a top shelf liquor. It was great. Everybody loved it. Everybody bought it. And then in the '70s, it went to shit. And he was the superintendent. I guess he ran the distillery from like early '60s. And in the late '70s, they came to him and asked him to try and figure it out, why it went bad. And they said he got to looking at it, and were doing 9 cooks a day with 35 bushels. Now, I don't know what the bushels were. He didn't go into that. But he said they were under capacity. So what they did was they increased to 12 cooks a day with 45 bushels. And that's when it went bad. And it went bad for all the '70s and early '80s. And it wasn't until like '83 that he figured out what happened. They were using too much water in the cooks. He said, we reduced the water. He said, I sent a report up to Cincinnati to have it tested. And he said, I got a phone call a few days later, said, don't change a thing. That's where it needs to be. Perfect. He reduced the water and fixed it.
Yeah.
Easy problem, he said.
So Gandy sits there and says he likes their rye ski. Is that the one you bought?
I can't remember.
Which one is it?
That one there. Yeah.
I was gonna say the OCD number 5 is very good as well.
Yeah, so we didn't buy the OT number 5 because I got the barrel pick from 21090,
Okay.
a channel, and so we kind of stayed away from that from buying it, knowing I had a couple
Yeah.
of those bottles. But next is the Cafe Olay. Was this the high rye?
I think it was, yes. Gosh,
Yeah,
now
I
I
think
can't
it was.
remember.
Interesting name. Sounds almost like tequila.
Yeah.
Oh, they had one. They had another bottle that was whatever. But they did. To your point, Gandy. Yes, Old Crow does have a new label.
Well, here's the thing with that. Jim Beam bought
Yes,
Old Crow Distillery, and they took over the name and the rights and everything for Old Crow.
but they left behind
They left behind the distillery and everything, and
Mashville,
so
everything.
yeah. So the Old Crow you're seeing on the shelf today is the white label Jim Beam, and this was a point that Bob had to tell me, that it's a 3-year Jim Beam
Correct.
at 90 proof, and they slap a label on it and call it Old Crow.
Old Crow, yeah.
Young.
Yeah.
Young Jim Beam. He said, and they're 4-year. They call it Old Crow Superior.
Which I haven't seen that.
I haven't either, but he said it's all Jim Beam.
I've seen it because I like the Old Crow decanters. I got a couple of those.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
I noticed that. I think I would get it to lay on my shelf because it's Old Crow.
Right. So right now they do have, and it's distillery only. They have the original Mashville Old Crow on the shelf there,
So
Yes.
this one's called Cafe Olay.
and it's Cuervito something. They're changing the name. I can post this later. They're going
you
to
got the
change.
picture.
Yeah, they're going to change the label because they've got a cease and desist order from Jose Cuervo. Because people said, well, they're going to get confused because it says Cuervito,
Yeah.
but it's a distillery only buy. So if you go to the Old Crow or the distillery to buy it, and you're getting confused that it's tequila, then you got a problem,
Yeah.
basically. But
So Gandy you saw Old Crow 86. I'm not sure. I think what's going to clear a lot of the stuff up, Gandy, is Jeff. Of course, I leave it up to him. We got a card from the guy that we talked to, their PR guy.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have someone from Old Crow on the show before too long.
That might be the $6 bottle I'm thinking of, the 86. Maybe.
Interesting.
and you guys probably, I'll post this picture up. But it's going to be called Flipping the Bird, Glens Creek.
Yeah, I was gonna say I bet that's their reaction after getting the cease and
Basically.
desist. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool label. though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's an upside down crow, and they're calling Flipping the Bird. It's going to be the new label that's coming out, and I'll post this up there so everybody can see it, because you're not going to see it right now. But unless Charlie, I can text it to you, and you can put it up on the screen that way. You can share it. Want to try that?
Yeah, if you text it to me. So Dave said he likes the Glen Creek's Dave and Barrel also.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that there either.
Um,
But it was a cool place. I thought they had a lot. Obviously, they have a lot of rich history. But
You could film some scary movies there.
oh, you
oh, you could.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're not
It's
kidding.
weird. It's old school factory, abandoned nuclear waste
Right,
area.
yeah. I sent you the picture of the bottle. They have the bottle they have on the shelf of the original Old Crow. The label's upside down because
Okay.
of the
Don't forget your mic.
lawsuit or
Yeah.
whatever, the cease and desist.
I'm just saying this is just in case you go to the bathroom.
That's where I'm
Yeah.
going.
We're gonna up here and you urinate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gonna be like, don't forget to wash your hands.
Wash his hands.
That'd be great if you could give me
Yeah.
left the mic on.
Yeah, so go and share those pictures if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna show the one that Gandy also. Hold on here. Let me see if I do a share screen or something.
They should be able to share a screen and pop it up there. So you say you like wild turkey. That's your go-to?
Yeah. Wild turkey's one of my go-tos. I'm a big fan of the Newcastle and Key Weeded, the cast
Yes.
strength.
Oh my
That's
gosh, yes.
very, very good. Trying to think, I try a little bit of everything. I mean, that's kind of what I pride myself on, is just being able to, not turn down anything and give it a
Okay.
shot at least before, turning up my nose at it.
Right.
Old Crow 86. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that like starting this
You
past
seen that?
week or week before. Yeah.
I wonder how much that is. That's interesting.
Did you click on the picture or you're
What?
sharing your text, but we can't.
I know everybody sees my text. Me and Erica were chit chatting. Good thing it wasn't anything bad. All right. Let's see here. Remove. Good God. Everybody saw my personal conversation between me and Erica. One was about, hold on. I think it was like, missed you. Love you. See you later. Oh, yeah. We're talking about our phone. Anyways,
So
sorry
yeah,
about
the Castle and Key, that 7-year weeded is excellent.
Yeah.
It's a far cry from where they started out too.
Mhm.
They the first couple years or first couple batches were a little hard to get through, but they really, and I think a lot of it has to do with, and we talked about this too, is the location of the rick houses that they're in, because they're in that kind of valley, and that's kind of the Old Crow talk too. Is their old Castle and Key for the 7-year weeded came from a rick house they had up on the hillside, so it just got that different environment, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't that super humid like what I would call the National Distillers
Right.
flavor profile. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So yeah, we love that weeded, and their rye, their restoration rye is really
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
I bought all the rye when we went there, but I didn't really care for the bourbon. I actually kind of like the gin they had there.
I did as well. I like their like seasonal gins. I think they do a phenomenal job with
I
that.
can't show it because the format's different. I'm not going to reformat it.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
So, all right, let's move on. Let's see here. Is Erica upstairs if you're not in the basement? You know what? I asked her, and she didn't sleep in the basement last night. She slept with the dog upstairs. I don't know. That's way too much information.
It's okay to have a relationship with them.
Be Lisa. You missed it earlier. You were gone in the bathroom, so I was doing my share screen, and my text message was up. And my text message with Erica was. Thank God we weren't arguing. or
in
anything.
trouble.
No, it was a lot of like some technical problems. And
Yeah.
miss you, but I'm not getting into that. So, anyways, all right, let's move on. Let's get on to our next one. This one I have you to thank for. This is courtesy of Keith getting this for us. This is the Buff Turkey, the 15-year Elkwood Reserve of the Bluegrass Distillers, which we are a big fan of Bluegrass Distillers ourselves. Period. You know much about this?
Yeah.
You made a comment.
Yeah,
What's your take on that?
So I've not tried it. So
Okay.
I tried. Is that just a cast strength? I tried a sample of
It's
it.
the lower cast strength, yes.
Okay.
123 proof.
So
Dark Arts is like 138.
okay.
Turkey. Yeah.
So I was going to say I tried the sample whenever it went on the market
Okay.
at a convention, and I thought it was phenomenal. It didn't really have that wild turkey taste, that kind of funkiness that I was looking for, but I still think it's a stellar tasting bottle for what it is.
And to me, the uniqueness is something that we'll never see again.
Yeah,
We'll never see this combination will never happen again.
yeah.
So we'll crack this open on Thursday, on our Thursday live. And like I said, the winner of tonight's hashtag Logan, you guys can have a 2-ounce sample of any of the choices up here. All right. So next, speaking of bluegrass, let's stay with their theme. We went to Bluegrass Distillery today.
I have that.
Yeah. So we've had this.
Pretty cool.
Great bottle. Yes.
Yeah. So this is the higher proof one.
This is
real
actually,
badass.
he went and thieved it right out of the barrel for
Now,
us.
I might have the regular.
There may be some char in this thing.
Yeah, there's 100
I had
proof.
one that was available I bought at the distillery.
That's 100 proof, yeah.
Which is great.
This is a single barrel, and he walked, because
It's
we,
straight from the barrel.
yeah,
Oh wow.
He thieved it and then packed and set
Sealed
his
it
little
up.
heater thing and packaged it for us right in front
That's
of him.
something they do normally there, or
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta ask for it because it's not on display.
right.
You gotta ask for
Had
it.
to ask for it.
There's a lot of places you gotta pay. You go to Victor's, that's $200 to do that.
No, this was
$70.
How much?
$70.
Yeah, $70.
You know, at Victor's, that's how
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
chat with you and you bottle your thing and give them
Mhm.
$200.
Right.
Yeah, and I love the
I'm sure
100,
it's great, but yeah.
I love the 100 proof version, but this is the 126
And
version.
the when we did our
Or
bourbon brawl,
120 proof.
yeah, when we did our bourbon brawl, we had the 120,
Yeah,
and it,
non-chill filter.
yeah, it went right up against Cedar
Broke.
Brook, and it was a close call, but Cedar Brook beat that.
You went to the new place then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, brand new
Okay.
place.
Yes.
They
They
just
went out of town, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just opened.
And
so-
they got again bottle hound here. That I think is beautiful. Their bottles are beautiful. With
Yes.
Yeah, they got a new high rye that is distillery only. I came close, but it's like a $70 bottle too, and it
So,
It was very
so
good.
lip service says yes. Elkwood rocks. Yes, for sure. And then also says that you have the real deal. I believe referring to the same bottle. And then Husky Dog says, yeah, that's one of his new favorites. So
yeah.
I'll be excited to try it on Thursday.
The funny part about it is, when I got here, they said, Keith, the store that sells that is a block and a half for beer.
I know.
So I've had it in West Virginia for a month. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just left it there and I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick it up today. So we went to Woodford Distillery today, this morning, and so did you. Different times though. But we ended up getting the Chocolate Whisper Redux.
One of my wife's favorites.
I haven't had it yet.
She loves it. Yes.
So you can actually taste the chocolate of it.
It's not anything flavored. You get the hints. You
Okay.
get a lot of, I almost say dark chocolate coffee, which you're gonna like.
Oh, nice. It's almost like what the Bond over
And I
there.
think they had a Redux that came out a few years ago that everyone
Okay.
hated.
I see. That's what I
And
was
that
thinking.
was a lower proof.
Yeah.
But this
This
is
one's
139. It's basically
139.
half.
And it doesn't drink that.
So
I'd be
this
really
could be,
impressed with
this
that.
could be part of the sample giveaway.
Only problem, it's $100 for the 375.
Yeah, so basically
I know.
it's a $200 bottle, which
Yeah.
yikes.
And you can buy 2 a day. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked at the price, but you know, a lot of places are going to these
well, how many
375s.
Woodford fans are out there? That's the only Woodford. That's the highest proof Woodford ever.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's almost hazmat. Yeah.
Don't-
Yep.
And I haven't told you that in the store. Like I think Woodford for some reason, I wish they would get on the road with higher proof stuff.
It's Brown Forman in general. I feel like.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
And
what
you
about
think that's just not
mass
their
production?
thing, right?
Yeah.
I think mass
Unfortunately.
production is their
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Mass production.
Yeah.
Just like the CEO said the other day. I don't know if you were at that that presentation. Their new policy is LAD to D&D, legal age drinkers to damn near dead. That's their policy.
And they
So
want
it's
to go
like
to the masses.
they
and
wanna
not
go to the
more
masses.
interested in,
yeah,
Well,
specialty bottles.
Yeah.
Bernie Lovers from Heaven Hill says we're not in the bourbon charity business. We're in the bourbon making money business.
I know.
Yeah.
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 And looking at it from their perspective, and you
No,
know,
I get it. So anyway, so that'll be part of our giveaway tonight. If you guys if you like that kind of stuff. Sweet Lisa says that she gets Swiss Miss Cocoa on the one, but the finish was not good for her. So all right, we'll
We'll see.
we'll
Yeah,
find out on Thursday. The next one is we went to Whiskey Thief.
yeah. And if you've ever been to Whiskey Thief, that's a cool place. It really is.
I've not been there yet.
You got to check it out. It's a really relaxed environment. They have 5 barrels laying out there for you, and they thieve you. It's $35 to get a tasting.
A lot of the tours go there because you can hang out.
Yeah, you can just hang out and just
throw horseshoes and
Yeah.
cornhole and yeah.
Logan, you
And-
know much about them?
They're actually our bottler. So
Well, hell,
everything's that. Everything we do is bottled. Yeah. So I was hanging out with Kelly and Derek, part of the team from
Okay.
Whiskey Thief at the conference today. Went to some sessions with
they
them
opened up a new place on Whiskey Road too, right?
on
They're going to.
on Nanny Goat Strut. I've been there once, and it's great. I went there on Thursdays they have jazz nights, and so I showed up. They have live music being performed. It's
Nice.
really good.
They're down by Rabbit Hole, isn't it? Isn't that where it's at? Yeah.
yeah.
So I was telling him, so we tried the other 3 bourbon. They were fine. They were good.
Yeah.
Now,
they're
we'll
four.
say it's a
There's
little bit on
five.
the expensive side, so I wasn't really entertaining the fact that I was going to buy a bottle. However,
That's part of the experience. It's the experience too, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and you
And
get a tour with it, but we didn't do the tour because we just
once you do
time
it,
wise. Yeah.
honestly, you want to do
If
it
you do a
for,
couple of years, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Other than
but
going into the rick houses and that smell.
Yes.
That's almost worth the
Yeah.
price of
Yeah.
admission there.
Yeah.
so we got this today regardless. I went ahead and caved in and got this only because this is probably one of the best rides I've had in a long time. Excellent.
Well, you haven't tried my turkey yet.
Okay, no, you're right.
You
You're
try
right.
that,
This
and
was-
you'll try that, and
what
you'll
this-
throw that turkey away. Oh, sorry.
This was great.
That was great.
Yeah.
It's 125 proof,
Yes.
and it was
Mine's
it does
101 proof.
it does not drink 125
It's a
at all.
6-year age stated.
No, what?
Um,
Where is their bourbon from? Do they make?
They make their own.
They distill. Yep.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yep. So they've.
Oh, I thought they were sourced too.
No, so,
No, so,
what do
yeah.
you-
Or sorry, go ahead.
No, you believe me, you're the expert.
You probably
Go
know.
ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say I don't know if you ever had Pappy Land, but so
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
Whiskey Thief originally was called Three Boys Farm,
I remember
and
that. Yeah.
so it recently changed ownership. I say recently, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and so they had a lot of the Three Boys Farm stock that they're still working through,
Mhm.
and so they have a lot of just diverse mash bills that they're producing all themselves. I think they have a couple thousand barrels. I may be incorrect on that, so don't hold me to it. But they try to do something different every single
They're
time.
near Buffalo Trace, right? Their location.
Yes. Mhm.
Yep.
Main location.
Yep.
Yeah, they're right off 64, I think it is.
Yep.
And then you sit there and pet the dog. And
Oh yeah, the cat.
Yep.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
the cat.
Pluto. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
kept wanting pretzels, and we were like, no, we
But that,
can't.
honestly, that's probably a top 5 rye for me of all time.
Wow.
Of all time.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
And
that's
then again, I don't have a big rye library.
and that's
one of the best
going
ryes
up
I have.
against Pursuit United's Double Oak Rye.
Yeah, this is
that-
very, very good. I love it a lot.
Yeah.
So that will be our April Patreon
Hmm.
giveaway for sample giveaway in the drawing.
Right.
We're gonna make that Friday.
Yeah, you do. Speaking of the rye, are you looking at doing any kind of a rye?
I would like
Oh
to.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like to. More of a bourbon drinker's rye. So like the
Okay.
kind of like 51% rye.
Like a high rye kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
New Riffish, maybe.
New.
Oh, like
So New Riff-
51% right.
yeah.
Scott does it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
New
very
Riff
good.
does 95.5. I like the herbal qualities of a 95.5,
Mhm.
but like the Michter's rye,
Okay.
that
yeah.
kind of style
Oh, that
mash
10
bill.
years, like
Yeah,
it's like you're drinking syrup.
Yeah.
With that mouthful. Oh.
yeah, and so that's what they call like the Kentucky style rye. So it's just 51% rye.
So
So
it's not
just
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's more spicier, right? Like,
yeah, it's around like 80%
The
rye.
Monongahela's.
Yeah.
It's more of a spicier.
Yep.
This I think people think are more negative toward that than the Kentucky.
Right.
It
We're,
is.
we've got Liberty Pole. We're going to have some samples sent to us from Liberty Pole. And
Sorry,
they're,
I'm laughing at some of these comments. You guys can't see it. Mr. Ritchie's like, dumb question, but how's there light coming in that window at 9:30? There's a spotlight on the ground. It makes it look like there's sunlight. So I know.
We're having an eclipse in Lexington.
And then
Yeah.
Stan says they had to charge that much, Charlie, because yes, you watched the video. Charlie got as much as on that barrel.
Is that what that video was? I haven't watched
Yeah.
it.
Dude, I still half that shit on the floor.
you should have seen the guy that was talking to us. He's talking about, we do make a lot of great ryes here. And Charlie's got his back to him, and I'm sitting there filming, and I'm watching these two guys, Keegan and Dave, I think his name was. And they watched him thieving out. And they saw all the bourbon going out, or the rye going out onto the barrel, and he went, he's like, oh my. Look at that.
Messed up the bottle. And then I did leave it alone. I balanced it on the barrel. And I tried to just do that, and that was the recipe.
You know what a problem men have about getting things, aiming the wrong direction.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
bad.
It's a man thing.
Well, then I thought, well, all right, I'll take 2 hands. And then I just bounced the bottle on the thing, and that was ready to spill over. So I was like,
Yeah, and then
It's tricky, though.
he had
bottle my own for me, please.
yeah.
he had just about the neck to finish the bottle, and he had a full thief. He pulled it out. It just dripped into the bottle, filled it up. Next thing you let go of it, and bourbon just went everywhere. I was like, "Don't do that."
Luckily, they don't give you like a surcharge. I'm sure that that price is built in for people like me. So, but anyways, that was a great ride. It's a good ride. I hope a lot of you guys can try that. In our future drawings and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that and then even in tonight's drawing, I even told you guys hashtag Logan. Any of these you guys are up for any 2-ounce pours. Next one came as EJ, by the way, on this one.
Yep.
As a recommendation from when we went to the Justin's House of Bourbon, I wanted him to just give me a
I heard a lot of
recommendation.
good things about that company.
And I said, hey, just give me something that I have not tried before. You're shaking your head. You know this company. And so what
I
are
do.
they about?
I was going to say, I want to hear what he talked to you all about
He-
first.
That was his best recommendation of what he had on the shelf as far as
Being
barrel
a
pick.
unique thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So
And
did
that's
he-
all he basically said.
Okay, so he didn't really explain anything of what's
No,
inside.
go ahead.
So
Which, by the way, guys, this is EJ Curley.
yep.
Am I
And,
saying-
and it's a cool bottle.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that this is wild turkey sourced. And so their distillery site is actually very close to Camp Nelson and the Camp Nelson warehouses.
You did mention Camp
Um,
Nelson.
You did.
Oh.
And so they're working on building a distillery there. And so currently it's all sourced.
You know, I heard that. Remember, saw that on something somewhere too.
Yeah.
Now that you said that.
But yeah, so that's what I've heard is that,
That's actually
it's wild
he
turkey
did say
sourced.
Camp Nelson.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Hmm.
So I've never had it. We'll crack that open on Thursday night as well.
It gets a lot of good reviews on different
Really?
channels. Yes,
Mhm.
it does. Yes.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a hard find too. It's not a real.
The other one is Keith brought this tonight, so I'll let you go ahead and introduce this. What this is?
Yeah, this is just a single barrel that I picked up from Justin's House of Bourbon while I was there. Screwed up, and he let me. He said, "You want to taste this?" I was like, okay." So now I own one, and we're going to try it tonight. It's a great turkey. I think it's I think it was Tyrone 8 on about the 5th floor. So that I hear
Okay.
that's a good wet place to be. And
So that's exempt from tonight's drawing only because I can't take the horror home with me to mail it. So everything else won't be open.
Yeah.
So anyway.
that's my one bottle that I bought.
Yeah. So everything else is good, is up for grabs. And then the last one, this has a great story. Do you
Yes,
know
it
anything about Old Bourbon County?
So it's right next to the county I grew up in. I was going to say, I know
gee.
it's
Dude, you're
Hartfield
like
and
a
Company.
library, I swear to God. We just go down the road and you just sit there and just do the whole script.
Yeah, that's my third cousin.
So you know
Twice
what?
removed, maybe.
Yeah. So let me tell us about this and then fill in any gaps.
Yep.
I was going to say, I really just know it's from Hartfield and Company.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the mash bill on it. I've heard really great things about it.
Okay.
It came out in the past year or two, just from
Okay.
what I know.
Now, and I tried the Hartfield, is it Hartfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hazmat, and I loved it, but they tried it too. Thought it was a little hot,
It was like
Yeah, it was like
gasoline. Yeah.
but I loved it.
Yeah.
But
And it could be just we didn't let it sit and air out a little bit. I mean, we
Yeah.
kind of
That was probably our fifth.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
tell me about the other bottle there that every person
Well,
should know after he's
yeah.
done.
This one here. The story on this one is it is the
The LA one.
Oh.
If they're good bourbon fans, they should know that.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
it is the only bourbon distilled and aged in Bourbon County, Kentucky.
Cool distillery. I've been to Honor Tour.
To me, though, that's amazing. Bourbon County, Kentucky.
Yeah.
There's only one distiller, and I mean that.
You know, the funny part about this, I was listening to a podcast on that again, and the master distiller said, I lived in Bourbon County that was dry,
Yeah.
and then Church County was wet.
Oh.
Is it Church County? Or is it Christian County? Or
I'm not sure.
he said in Bourbon County
Or
was dry.
Clark County.
No, it's the Christian Church something.
Oh, yeah.
That county was wet, but the Bourbon County was dry.
Oh,
Growing
which
up.
is odd enough.
Yes.
Right.
And he was in middle school when they went back to sell. Which
Well,
is
I mean, we tried it and it's good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Well, it's
And
like
then,
Round County is dry, or at least it was, and now
There's still a few, yeah.
they're putting in Starlight Distillery out there.
And I like now a
Or
lot of
Eastern
the,
Starlight, whatever.
like the whiskey sipper guys don't like the Franken whiskey that comes out of there.
Okay.
I like it because it's
Franklin
very
whiskey.
it's very unique. It comes in. It's the guy from the Walking Dead cartoonist did the bottle.
Okay.
But
Tony Moore.
Yes.
Yep.
But he's from there.
He does concert posters for an
Yeah.
artist I like.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I into that.
But they take all their extras. They take. See, he knows everybody here.
Hey,
I know, that's like, of course he does.
hey, Tyler Childers. I mean, I'm sure you all know Tyler Childers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey, what's that?
he does a lot of his artwork for like tours and posters and stuff.
We started out doing the Grateful Dead and then the Walking Dead comic book.
Okay.
But the Franklin whiskey is something they produce once a year. It's all their extra stuff. They bottle it up together
Yeah.
and make it crazy. It's a funky smack in the side of the face. And I know that
Yeah.
Todd and those guys hate it, but we and I
Okay.
both love it. It's just it is kind of it's got that
that Kentucky kick
Okay.
times two. You know,
Mhm.
it's just a fun bottle. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Logan, I feel like we should have you like in like a sofa couch there. We have a sofa couch here, and we just have a mic, and you just talk away.
Yeah.
And I'll just blur out a name, and you tell me how you're like
See if he's
6
connected,
degrees
man.
of Kevin Bacon to him.
Yeah. Don't mean to keep on interrupting.
No,
but
no,
yeah.
I want you to.
Oh, yeah.
It's good stuff.
I think
Yeah.
it's invaluable things. I want you to interrupt because you know anything that we might have missed on. I want you to tell the viewers.
Mhm.
We eat this stuff up. So yes,
Mhm.
say, hey, I know something about this, or just interject.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You probably know a lot of these guys from this networking, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you know a lot of the other master stores and such.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with the people at Glens Creek.
Okay.
Don't really know them all that well. But yeah, Bluegrass, Whiskey Thief, Andrew at Hartfield, know him a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a very small kind of tight knit community when it comes to craft distilling.
Yeah.
It's harder to kind of get to know kind of like the
Right.
Harlan Wheatleys and the Russells and,
Sure.
and
They have
kind
like
of the.
regional meetings, like for the Kentucky Distillers Association that you guys go to.
Um,
There's an association, right?
Yes, so there is. We're not a part of that. So usually you actually have to have a distillery there, kind of like on the distillery trail to be a part of that.
Oh, okay.
But so we are part of an organization called the American Distillers Institute.
Okay.
And so once a year they usually have a conference. It's probably 2 or 3 times the size of the Beam Institute conference,
Oh, nice.
where all the craft distillers kind of flock to one place. And so it's kind of a similar makeup.
That would be that'd be like Disneyland.
It's going to be in San Antonio this year in August.
I can't.
Can't
Yeah,
work on it.
could try, but
Well, do it. You do your job.
we'll talk after show.
Yeah.
Get
So,
some
I'll
info.
going to start the media part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we wanted to share this as a nice bottle for everybody. Yeah, so everybody loves. I don't imagine how many in the chat. I would imagine a few of you guys had LA. I grew up on LA, but you brought us thinking that we
Well,
were.
I thought I was going to, Logan and I were going to pick on you guys, you Yankee guys from Ohio, and show you LA1's Kentucky's official soft drink, right?
Believe so.
It's
what?
got to be.
And great ginger ale that has a lot of history around prohibition and things like that. Maybe I'll let Logan tell the full story of it too, but it's, and it's just a great thing. And most people don't come here and don't get the full aspect of what all this tradition here in Kentucky is, other than
Yes.
the bourbon, all these other things that are like LA1's a big part. It used to be
Yes.
a big part of the Derby, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I believe it is the official soft drink. I know for
That's
sure.
the mint julep, right? Or no, not the mint julep. I'm sorry. There's something else that was the drink there too.
I was going to say, any guesses on what the official drink of Kentucky is?
I don't know. I mean, I was going to say what your answer was, but
Yeah, I was gonna say the mint julep too, just because of the Derby. But
It's milk.
milk?
Milk is the official drink of the
Really?
state of Kentucky. Yeah.
I thought that would be like maybe the Indy,
Also school
Like-
farms.
Yeah. Yeah.
like the Indy 500 would be milk.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they.
Yeah. You'd think Kentucky would be a mint julep or bourbon,
Okay.
but it's milk.
But,
Interesting.
So
and I'll let
odd.
Logan talk too, but LA1, the Kentucky Brown, all those
Mm-hmm.
unique things that you're not going to learn
Yeah.
about in other states. And
Correct.
And I love Kentucky. It's just fun to drive around and look at the horse farms.
Yeah. Oh, they're beautiful.
But-
Yeah, they are.
sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say my best way to describe it is it's like ginger ale, but a little bit stronger. Has a little bit more of a burn to it.
A bit more ginger, right?
Yep. So I make what's called a Kentucky Mule, which is
Oh, I
just
love
bourbon
Kentucky Mule.
and L8 and
Yeah.
I
a
try
lime.
it too.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite drinks. That's what got me into bourbon. Was
Okay,
Kentucky
yeah.
Mule.
And actually, it's being distributed in more states now too.
Yeah.
But when you come down on the bourbon trail, go to Walmart and grab a couple cases.
Yes, exactly.
It's like-
And make sure you get the glass bottle.
yeah, I was going to
It's
say
different than the can.
yeah, that's what they say in Kentucky at least.
I think
Is that
so.
the cans are different than these short neck bottles, and then the long neck bottles that you can return for a nickel are supposedly even better than the short neck
It's
bottles.
a Frenchburg accent. I was
Yeah.
64 to grab the returnables.
So the long neck bottles around here.
I believe so. I believe
still
they
some-
say.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go hunting for them now.
They're a bit more expensive because you have to return the.
I just want it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just for
Yeah.
nostalgic reasons.
Yeah, you're talking about going and getting it. I think they sell it in all Cracker Barrels nationwide now. So if you're curious about it and want to try it, look for it in like the soda section there in the gift shop.
Wow.
Man. All right, guys. Well, hey.
Look, my contribution to the show is.
No, it's great. I appreciate Keith coming on. I appreciate Keith being in the area, and I really appreciate Keith connecting us with Logan and talking about his spirits. I really like the blueberry, and I really like the that middle one that we did with the coffee note, because I'm a coffee guy kind of thing. I thought that was fantastic. But once again, tell them real quick who you are, where they can get your bottles at,
Yeah.
website, all that stuff, and then we're gonna do the drawing.
Yeah, Logan Buchanan from Vincero Spirits. We produce the Bond and Thornbush. You can find both of these bourbons, our 4-year and our 7-year, on thebondbourbon.com, or you can find our Blackberry bourbon on thornbushwhiskey.com. And so we ship to 43 states. We have every state listed out on there. So check and see if yours is on there.
Awesome. And then let's go ahead and do the drawing. If you guys haven't done already, last call for hashtag Logan. We got 22 in the drawing, and then you will choose anything out of this lineup, minus the put that out. There you go. The turkey rye, and we will get that shipped to you later on this week once we get back home. And then we'll put some other samples, surprise samples in there as well.
We have a new viewer right now. His name is Tom Black 06. He says he's sorry he's late. He's just joining us, but welcome.
Yeah. And then don't forget, in 10 minutes, if you guys would, go over to 21090, see what they got going on in Vegas. I can't imagine what's going to, I'll watch them on replay because we're going to talk off camera and do some other things. But let's go ahead and do, no, it's not hashtag new rip tattoo.
Yeah, there's Josh Frisch is in there. Yeah, there we
We gotta
go.
get Gandy one more time.
You know what we're gonna do? Here's what we're gonna. You know what we gotta do one time? With the hashtag Gandy does not like kids. Hashtag. And just get him all kinds of shit. And we know he does. We're just kidding. I don't know why we picked on Gandy. Gandy did nothing to deserve this. It just. He got choked.
Did you really?
Donna's the one that started it with the tattoo, getting
I
a
know,
new
but
rip
then-
tattoo.
Then it just freaking
It just went off
evolved,
down it. And then you went down and went, oh, off the cliff.
Charles said we gotta do like a GoFundMe, and then all the proceeds go to children's
Like when you
hospital.
hang around your college buddies, this is what we
Yeah.
do on Friday nights
Yeah.
at our home.
Well,
Talk
see,
about
Yeah.
people,
where it went off the rails is he said he would get a McBrayer tattoo,
Okay.
W.H. McBrayer. So
He didn't bring McBrayer up this.
he did
podcast.
not. You're right.
See, look at that.
So,
I have a
so
story
the
to tell you
hash,
out there.
the
Okay.
hashtag, it was WH on my ass.
Mhm.
And that's when,
And then one of the viewers is like, hey, if you take WH on my ass, separate the O, it becomes who's in my ass.
and it just,
I hope nobody I work with watching this podcast.
Yeah, let's do this drawing. Let's get you guys out of here and get you out of
Before you
21090.
get fired.
So, all right, here we go.
Darla's back. Where's Darla?
Dave started it. That's funny. He started it. Mr. Richie J. All right. Let us know. Yeah, Andy, you can personally blame.
Dave, poor Dave.
I know.
Andy and
Mr. Richie
Friday, I
J.
pick on Dave. So
Hold on, at the end of the chat. Let's see if I believe he's still here.
Still got that little bit of blueberry.
Yeah, I was going to say it.
Go ahead
it's
and
pretty
acknowledge yourself, Mr. Richie J, and then we will.
There he is.
Is he it?
Yep.
Where?
He wants the Woodford.
Okay, he wants the Woodford. Yes. Okay, we'll get that sent out too. You have your little book. Can you write that in there?
Oh, I
We're
absolutely
gonna
can.
forget.
Yep.
You know we will. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Again, we can't thank you guys enough for joining us. This
Thank
is
you
a
for
late
having me.
notice, and sometimes those are the best kinds of shows.
Mhm.
So, all right. Till next time. I'm Charlie.
I'm Jeff.
It's been Logan.
We all know who he is.
Yeah.
It's Keith. All right, guys. We'll see you.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.